I'm just being a dick.
Really? You can't?
No, I'm just being a dick.
Oh, I believed you.
That's what you get.
So, welcome everybody. This is Podcastforwe, a podcast for me, and a podcast for you and us and everyone. And we're going to talk about the finer things in life. We're going to talk about my new studio. I call it Studio.
I just noticed that. Shit.
It's like we're the mirror universe or something.
Hey, that's a cool infinity gauntlet you got there.
I know, but it's the opposite of you.
Oh, it's the dark universe.
Right? I always shoot this thing in mirror mode for me. I don't know why, but I just got used to it. But then like I was like, no, I'll keep it that way. I was gonna rotate it, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what's I bought this fucking green screen here, and
oh, nice.
It's well, I think it fucks with my quality. I can't tell. I'm gonna get closer. Yeah, and then I have to like shorten it because when it goes wide, you'll see the outsides of it. So
yeah. I see it. Yeah, you got the box presentation set up.
Yeah, well, the other way is the only way to get it to work with the wide, I have to have the green screen literally on top of me, like it's like.
I have to get the size that you're using so I can get my own.
Yeah, well, I'm probably gonna ditch this one and get a wider one, which I didn't even think that was a thing to do. I wouldn't have thought of doing it. Let's see if we can find the video setting here. I'll show you what it looks like on widescreen. Video settings. Okay, so when I do HD, when I go back to, then you can kind of see the outskirt of it. That's right.
Oh,
it's not too bad.
Oh yeah, a little bit, but it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but I don't know. Does the quality of my camera go better? I can't even tell.
I can't tell either.
Yeah, I think I could if I just rotate it a little. No.
You might have to bring it closer or zoom your camera in a little bit if you have a zoom on it.
I don't.
There you
just
go.
focus. It just focuses and unfocuses.
We just lost like 20 viewers right now because they were like, "This guy's just fucking with his green screen."
Speaking of viewers, we have a comment on last week's podcast.
Don't act surprised.
I am a little shocked.
You got to be cool about it. You got to be like, so the comments are like lighting up, and people are really bombarding us with.
I mean, they can fucking see it because it's like, I mean, it's like the one comment. But I was like, whoa, people are actually watching this shit,
So
and I was like,
so that they crashed the YouTube servers and only one comment can be seen right now.
That's one way of going about it. Maybe that's it. But like, okay, I always assumed it'd be a bot of some sort, or like a bot saying cool or a heart or like an emoji or something impartial.
Making $30,000 a month by working from home. My
something
best
like
friend,
that.
Adrian,
something like that. But like when I read it, it was very poignant, and I don't even think we brought this up. I don't think we did. And in fact, later on, the news brought it up. Not the news, like nerds and shit. They were talking about.
No, it was for those of you that don't know, we talked about Wonder Woman 84. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
She pretty much she rapes a guy. If you look at the definition, he was unable to say no. It's the same as like drugging somebody to sleep with them. They put this guy's soul to sleep and put somebody else's soul in there, and so he didn't.
Well, yeah, literally, and it was an unnecessary thing to do because, like, I'm fucking up my settings here, because why can't in a world where when the Wishmaster guy talks to the Muslim dude or whatever, and he goes, "Hey, I want this wall," a fucking wall comes out of nowhere. So, like, in a world where walls come out of nowhere.
You could argue that the wall was made out of whatever's in the ground. Go with the Full Metal Alchemist.
What about the nukes, though?
That's bullshit.
See?
Yeah, the nukes is where that falls apart. It was like they were gradually more and more breaking their own rules, but
well, Well, when you do a story like Wishmaster and things like that, it gets kind of fuzzy, you know.
Yeah, like your
But
resolution.
is my
No, I'm
resolution
fucking
fuzzy?
with you. I'm kidding. Not kidding.
Because I can't tell anymore. These things, you know. Oh, hey, check it out. So I was messing with the settings. As it turns out, everything looks good on YouTube. It's just that when I was watching it on my TV downstairs, I have that set to some kind of a like optimal settings, and it makes
Depends
YouTube
on
a
your
little bit.
internet.
Yeah, and it brings the YouTube up brighter. And I'm like, huh? So what I did was I cooked up my computer, which has its own settings. And that's when I look at the videos and I edit and things like that. And when I hooked it up, it looked good on the TV. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's my TV settings. So I fucked up with my TV settings, and everything works out perfectly. So we've been loading pretty good. In fact, I found out that Zoom itself, to go to a higher quality to get to 1080p, we gotta like register. So that's why we've been getting lucky, you know, with
It
our
looks pretty
shit.
good. Yeah, it looked pretty good. I
Yeah,
mean,
but like it could look like 1080p, you know, because right now it's loading up at 720,
720.
which kind of bothers me a little, but you know, but our cameras are 1080p anyways. What the fuck does
Yeah,
it matter?
I might upgrade. You know, I might
Not
get a camera. Camera.
yeah, I'm gonna totally upgrade, but not this year. Maybe not when I didn't mean that. I meant like maybe in November, something like that.
I mean, maybe over the summer.
Maybe, yeah. What the fuck? It's because I'm grinding and shit. So like, I was like, do I have time to buy another camera? Because I
You're
bought this
grinding.
camera. I
Yeah.
researched it. It's all right, but I mean, is it 4K?
Said you were grinding.
I am grinding, leveling up.
That was grinding.
Yeah.
If you've never seen that, I feel bad for you.
But when he did, okay, so the guy did say that, and he brought that up, and he made a whole paragraph about it, and I was just like, wait, so like, what did this guy just watch it? Because we didn't talk about Wonder Woman until like an hour into the podcast.
He
Like,
watched the whole thing.
So he had
He
to
watched
have,
the
because
whole
that was
thing.
because we did Soul then Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah, and we talked about something else before that. What did we talk about before that?
Oh, our top 10. It was top 10,
That was the top 10.
Soul, and then Wonder Woman. And then he talked about it. I was just like, man.
And honorable mention right here that probably should have been in my top 10. I don't know how I blanked on this. Hamilton. Did you watch that? Oh, come on. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I'll watch it just because you said that.
You like, you know, it's different, dude. It's so different. It's worth watching. I would recommend it. That way you can decide whether or not it's trash or it's real.
I don't like musicals, and then
I'm not about
you call it
either.
rap, and I'm like,
no, I'm not about it either. But I really like the representation of George Washington. You know, I really dug that.
well, as long as Hamilton's played by a white guy, I'll watch it.
Hamilton's played by a white guy.
No, it is. It is. I thought it was a black guy.
No, it's a white guy. They changed it
Really?
up, but yeah, it's a white guy.
I thought Hamilton was played by a black guy this whole time. Shit, I was making a good joke.
No, Aaron Burr is played by a black guy. But it's cool. He's really good. I like him. I didn't like the guy that played Alexander Hamilton. He's actually the writer of the show and director and all that. But
Mirando or something.
Yeah.
Or he made like a lot of Disney music.
He's made a lot of good stuff. The dude makes a lot of good stuff. But he's just really whiny in the role. But man, it feels like you're watching a Broadway show. You're on a big TV. You got a good sound system. Fucking crank it. It's really good. Watch it with your wife. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. She'd be like, "You want to watch Hamilton with me? Oh my gosh!"
Well, we're grinding out Cobra Kai, so get see season 3.
You're grinding while watching Cobra Kai.
We're grinding out Cobra Kai, not grinding. What I'm grinding while grinding the fucking show. It looks pretty. I mean, like I like Cobra Kai. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I want to watch it so bad. You know what? I'm probably gonna break down this weekend and watch it.
Well, actually, dude, do you remember Karate Kid pretty good?
Kind of. You know what? That's one of those movies. Like I had the VHS and it was recorded off of HBO or whatever, and I watched it like ad nauseum when I was a kid, 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I don't remember it that well. I probably watched 2 more than 1.
Watch at least Karate Kid 1, because that's actually yeah, that's it. And then he starts going like that, beating them. No, if you watch Karate Kid, yeah, that was so dumb. If you watch Karate Kid 1, it's still a good movie to this day. Best movie ever kind of thing. It's still good. But 2 and 3, that's if you want to go that distance. But if you watch Karate Kid 1, then you can watch Cobra Kai, and it works better to remember this shit. These little Easter eggs are pretty good.
You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna watch 1 and 2.
At least 1. 2 and 3. I mean, like you.
Wait, is 3 still Ralph Macchio? I thought 3 was with
No, 3 of them. No, that's the 4th one.
What happened to the
next
third one?
Karate Kid? The 3rd one. It's stupid. It's real dumb. You can tell like this is called the sequel fatigue. So the 3rd one, he's with some new chick. He's back in America, and he wants to learn more moves, more offensive moves. And for some reason, Kreese, there is a good flashback of the first movie, and they insert more stuff, and that's pretty good. But then it turns out like Kreese, the main bad guy in the first one, life isn't so good. He gets with his war buddy who happens to be rich, and then he comes up with this fucking plan of revenge against Mr. Miyagi, which it doesn't make sense because it's not like it's what is wrong with this rich guy? I don't know why he's this fucked up, but he goes, okay, Kreese, you're going to pretend that you're dead. And then like, so he pretends he's dead. And then all this shit happens. And basically the bad guy starts teaching, Ralph Macchio harder karate moves and shit, and fucks with them.
That's right. Yeah. Oh wow.
And then there's like a big reveal, like in the middle of the movie, like Kreese is actually alive, and then Mr. Miyagi is not even fazed by it because even he's over the plot because the plot is contrived. He's just like, okay, you're alive, and then he fucks them all up, right? And they're laughing at him like as if they fucking got him. But he fucked them up. So and then Ralph Macchio, there's another tournament, and then he fucking beats them up. And I was just like, what the fuck is this movie? It's just a mess. It's just like a Wonder Woman 1984 mess where they don't understand their own plot and shit's just happening.
You had to go there, you sexist pig.
Yeah, dude.
Just intimidated by a strong female.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? No, especially with Star Trek, you can hate a fucking thing, and it's obviously because you hate women. But I liked like fucking 4 different shows. That's hundreds of episodes.
You know what? I started thinking. I don't know why I was thinking about it today. I went and picked up Return of the Jedi in 4K because I'm tired of watching.
I like 4K. I like 4K Return of the Jedi.
4K HD version on Disney Plus. It's not doing it for me.
Okay.
So I was like, I just gave in. I went and picked up Jedi. But I was thinking today, I go, Leia was a strong female character. I saw this. There was an ad. There was an ad for this book. It said some princesses need saving. This one will save you. And I was like, Princess Leia was pretty badass
from the beginning.
And I don't know if I'm writing for George Lucas in this, but this totally makes sense, right? She's on that ship. She's posing as an envoy, right? An ambassador. So she's wearing ceremonial garb. And that's why, she looks like a fragile princess with the buns and all that.
But she saves herself, almost.
She's a rebel. She's not. Yeah. She's not just a princess, envoy ambassador. She is a rebel. So by the end of A New Hope, she's out there telling the X-Wing pilots, "Hey guys, do this, and that, blah blah blah," and then she's not wearing that shit anymore.
No, she never wears the princess outfit
ever again.
She wears a slave outfit.
Not by choice.
Only because I know. She wasn't like, I want to look like a slut today. That wasn't. No.
And then even at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, she's in full,
army. Yeah, she's a general.
She's out there. She's commanding people. She's one of the last fucking people to leave that base.
And
like pry her out of there. And that's not rescuing. It was like, hey, person to person, level on level. It was a discussion, an argument, a disagreement, and a fucking let's go and get the fuck out of here type of deal.
Yeah.
So no. This is bullshit. That
you don't. You're arguing against nobody because okay,
I know
But
it's a lot of
people,
that's gone away. Right? If anything good came out of the Last Jedi, was that a whole bunch of people came out pissed off about, hey, you're just intimidated by a strong female character, General Haldo or whatever. Um, but then after that, all that other bullshit started coming out, and what was I watching? God damn it! It's Neon and Sparkle, Geeky Sparkle. I don't know, and they kind of hit it on the head. I think people are tired of hearing that shit. The fans are tired of hearing that shit. That they're tired of hearing those arguments, and now those woke movies that are trying to push that agenda, they're not making money, so they kind of need to go back to what the fans were doing. Oh, Nerdrotic also talked about that too.
yeah, because if you like a lot of there's like some false narrative, and these exist a lot nowadays, where it's like there was never strong female characters, and you're like, what about Ridley from
Yeah,
fucking Aliens? What about Sarah Connor from Terminator? I mean, they fucking burned the world down, and like it wasn't like they had to crush men to do it, and it wasn't like they sacrificed. They had to act more like guys. There were women who just was badass, and then like if for some reason they don't, you know what, even Trinity in the 90s, she was just a badass. She wasn't a woman trying to be a dude. She was just a woman who was a badass. That's what these characters were. And then like you get to 2010 and up, it becomes a thing where the woman has to be way more powerful than the guy. Guarantee this Thor and Loving, whatever the fuck, they're gonna make what's her name, Thor. I bet she's gonna be more powerful than Thor.
I'm wondering uh, how much influence is coming from the outside, and how much Taika Waititi and oh shit, Guardians of the Galaxy guy, because they have to be working on it because those two movies are going to tie together, Guardians
Yeah,
and
I
Thor.
can see that.
But
But
I'm wondering how much control they're going to be able to have versus that influence being pushed on them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, no, I think they were given a set of orders, marching orders, and they're good. So they're just going to be able to work that in. But the problem is what happens is you tend to, for some reason, I guess equality, you make the woman character way more powerful, just way more fucking powerful. So you had like two characters. You had Scarlet Witch, and then you had Quicksilver, and they both have the powers given to him by fucking Stone, right? But for fucking some reasons I can't even understand, the
They're not as
guy's power,
powerful.
they're not as powerful, but the woman is. She's fucking. Oh, she could beat Thor. That's a sentence I've heard. Not Thor. She could beat Thanos, who could fuck up Thor.
You could kind of, again, we're writing for them. The twins were an experiment, in trying to
What?
infuse that power into a human being. Maybe they did it to some extent, but not to the extent of, say, Captain
Of
Marvel.
course. You could
But
could write that.
but Vision, what, Scarlet Vision or whatever, WandaVision, they might up her power level. She might be near Captain Marvel level if they start taking her towards like House of M.
Yeah, well,
So
Marvel is a character. Once again, you could write this though, because anytime you're given powers by the Infinity Stone, it stands to reason you're powerful. Because Captain Marvel's power comes from an Infinity Stone,
right.
and so like that's what makes her powerful. And I'm like, but wait, Quicksilver, not him, no, bro. You got Infinity Stone power, not you. You're dead. And then we're
You
gonna
know
bring
what?
back another character, Vision, but not you, bro.
You know what they
Fuck you.
should have done right now? I'm thinking about it. When Captain Marvel gets fucking Tony Stark to Earth, you know how they sense they're this was stupid. Like Nebula's there, she's like, oh, the garden. He would go to the garden. Well, okay, what fucking planet is that? And then Rocket's like, hey, we found this energy surge right here. Maybe that's the garden. You don't need Nebula to tell you that the energy surge is probably Thanos, right?
Yeah.
What should have happened was Captain Marvel's there, and all of a sudden she just gets weak. Like something's wrong.
That would be cool. They will never do that.
They should no, then find a way to give her powers back. But that also would have deleted her from the movie to where she instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna be off planet for a little while, you're not gonna hear from me for a while, which was obvious. I mean, I was just like, that sucked me out of the movie. I was like, oh, okay, that's just a stupid way for them to say Captain Marvel's off planet. That's why she's not here to beat everyone's ass. Here, Thanos destroying the stones would have weakened her. She would have been like, whoa, something's wrong.
So when the stones come back, she has her powers back. because
Maybe
the
for a
stones.
moment, because they do
No,
bring him
because
back.
the stones do come back. So, but then you wouldn't
They
have her. She wouldn't have her
no.
powers.
They bring the stones to the future. She starts feeling powered up again
I
enough to
know,
where when
but
the
then they
attack
take the
happens,
stones.
she can do her shit.
How do you have Captain Marvel 2 when the stones are gone again? Because Captain America.
You can figure that one out. You can figure that one out, but that would have been cleaner than
That would have been fucking tight.
that
They
would have
overpowered her. They over fucking powered her. They
that
did
would have
it
been
again.
cleaner. That would have given her an arc. You could have written her into the story. You could have had her in Endgame.
Yeah.
You know, with them, trying to help them out, you know, and trying to find a new way, because as long as she can remember, she's always had power. Now
Yeah.
she like doesn't have power. So,
You know what? I hear you. Narratively, it wouldn't work for this movie only because for
it was more
Endgame,
about
you wanted to focus on the main. Yeah,
a
and
mini
you're
arc,
right.
a mini arc, or a starting
What you
arc.
it would have
You
been
know,
it would have been too much. It would have been no. I like what you said, and that could work. But like for Endgame itself, you had so many moving pieces that you
yeah, you
kind of
did.
want.
You're right.
Yeah, to add that part, and that would be awesome. I mean, if it was a TV show, yeah, you could have had her doing something too. I just think that for WandaVision though, so you got your brother, right? Your twins, whatever. You known each other forever. You fucking love each other. I'm gonna bring back Vision. I mean, yeah, I guess you love him. I guess. What about your brother? I don't know. I always thought that was like a closer connection, you know? I mean, yeah, you should love somebody. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, man, your brother died.
It could be a surprise cameo.
That would be fucking tight. No,
It-
we would have heard it. We would have heard it. We would have heard the rumblings.
I don't know, man. They kept Luke Skywalker pretty tight. I mean, you didn't. I mean, you heard people guessing, you know, maybe, but you didn't. You didn't get a leak, a screenshot, or a
No, this
CGI
shit's been
artist
out.
that said, "Hey, man, we fucking got Luke Skywalker in this shit now."
They made this shit a while back, and it's about to come out like within a week.
Hey,
That we
did
would
you
have.
copy me or did I copy you? We're sitting exactly the same. But,
Maybe-
but we also mirrored it. We're all sitting like that.
And I'm the evil version because I have
Yeah,
the
you got the
fucking
mustache.
shit. I got
The mirror
stupid.
version.
Oh man, it does
Oh,
look
and you're
real
drinking a
though.
beer. You're drinking liquid carbs, and I'm drinking sparkling water
What makes you think it's beer?
because it's yellow, so it's not apple juice or piss.
It's apple juice.
Are you on the
It's,
Are you in the water world diet?
It's strawberry lemonade. What are you talking about? It's piss. What do you know?
The Pacquiao juice. Hey,
Yeah, but like,
we're gonna talk about January 6th.
yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, how do we? It's like we were positivity. 2021's video game.
We should have done this backwards, dude. We should have done this backwards.
No, but I got other topics though. But I mean, I just, oh, man, dude, you really thought 2021 because we were getting there. Like last couple of weeks, we were talking some games and shit and movies, and then fucking January 6th, 2021 happens, and I'm gonna get rage about this one. Me inside is pissed. So let's talk about what happened. So right now it's January 7th, 2021. And then yesterday, something that hasn't happened in the last 200 fucking years happens. And I'm bad. I have many thoughts about this. I have overlapping thoughts about this. Like narratives. Like I have one narrative of like Russian bot farms. I've got narratives like what the fuck is wrong with our country? And then I got like, well, Trump's an idiot, you know, and what's wrong with the media? So let's go. Do you want to break it down or you want me to break it down?
I can break it down.
Break it down.
So just like an overview summary right here. So, you know, January 6th, Congress, both houses are meeting to basically ratify the electoral college votes.
Which is a fucking done deal. Which is a done deal. This is just like a formality.
It's an important formality because back in the day, the states voted, decided who's going to get their electors. Then some motherfucker on a horse had to ride that shit cross country and hope he didn't get jumped by an opposing party, you know, murdered, stabbed, shot, killed, hung, whatever. Then they take the papers out, scribble out the name of one candidate and put in the name of another. and then deliver that shit to Congress. And if you listen to the words that the vice president speaks and that the tellers speak when they're reading these, they're saying that the certificates are regular in form and authentic. In other words, doesn't look like anybody fucked with this thing. The vice president says these are the only certificates submitted by the state, that we know of. These are the only certificates that we've received. So this is from a time when, hey, they're basically checking their mail and verifying, did this letter come from who it says it came from? If they have two of them, then they got to figure out, okay, which one's real, which one's not real, which one's the authentic looking one. So in case people don't know out there, that's why this thing exists, right? Because back in the day, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have telephones, we had telegrams, but that's the same. So now we still do it, and yes, it's more out of tradition. They still have mahogany boxes and shit like that, and so they're going through the count. Um, Arizona comes up, and these dudes object. Ted Cruz objects as well, and so each house goes to its side. And all the while, there's this march that has started where President Trump kind of got everybody riled up. Rudy Giuliani got everybody riled up, and Trump told him that he was going to march, from where they were at to the Capitol. He told them march to the Capitol, and throughout the different things you could piece it together. But he's basically telling them to fight. He used the word fight.
Wait. Did he say march to the Capitol, or was he?
He told them go to the Capitol, and make them change the election. I'm gonna walk with you. There were people that thought that Trump was walking with them. The dude can barely walk down a ramp. There were people that thought that Trump was walking with them. This was reported on the ground. Trump's not walking with him. He's going back to the White House and watching TV. So these people marched down, and I have to say the majority of them were peaceful protesters, but then a lot of them showed up with weapons, apparently with pipe bombs, with zip ties. The way that the cops, they wear the zip ties on them to prepare for arrest.
Because those are your like alpha nerds, but they're actually just conservatives.
So I have this gauntlet, but I also have my Iron Man gauntlet. I love Halloween because it gives me an excuse to break out my Avenger shit and dress up like an Avenger. Blah blah blah. This is like that Kyle Rittenhouse shit. It's to show off. It's like a car meet. It's an excuse to polish off your car and go show off your car and pretend.
Yeah, because instead of the fucking Iron Man gauntlet and the Dragon Ball books and shit that you got right there and all that bullshit that you have, instead, if you were the conservative version of Eber would have been like that would have been a gun, that would have been Minecraft, and that would have been like
the radical conservative version of it, the Proud Boy version.
But that's who has those version. Handcuffs and shit. That's who has it.
Why? One of them had like tactical gloves, the ones with the reinforced knuckle, and then the tactile, fingers. I was like, why are you wearing tactical gloves to a peaceful demonstration? What are you preparing for? Because when they got there, there's hardly any police presence. The argument right now that the police were unprepared is one part true, one part false. The cops on the front line, they're about as prepared as you could be. There's videos that looks like they're like telling the protesters, no. The guy's going up and telling them, hey man, we got to get the fuck back because we're not prepared to hold this line. He's like, no, he's doing one of these fall back deals. So then they fall back, right? And then the protesters are like, well, fuck, we're going up to wherever they're at. And then they slowly encroach on the Capitol. They start at the main steps on the east side, and then they take each one. Then once they get to their limit on the west side, they flood the backside, the west side, and they're scaling, scaffolding, and all that stuff. They make it into the Capitol. The chief of the police of Capitol Police, he resigned today, as of the 16th. For failure to prepare. Metro Police offered training weeks ago, hey, you know what, this might be a thing. He turned them down. So they weren't prepared. The police were shorthanded because of their leadership, is what it looks like. So then they get into the Capitol. Both houses have to shut down and actually lock down inside of their respective wings of the Capitol, and the Capitol's under siege for I think about 4 hours. Basically, there's no control of the Capitol building, and there's people on the floor of the Senate, on the floor of the House. And at first, we were only able to see the images of them kind of wandering around the halls and not destroying anything. It was only until after they left that you were able to see, them bashing in the windows, assaulting officers, um, ransacking the different offices. You've got pictures of people sitting on sitting on the desks of representatives and stuff, and things were taken. So uh, they didn't get control of it until later in the evening after the curfew was enforced at 6 o'clock. Trump says that he put out the National Guard. That didn't happen for at least an hour and a half um, after they had stormed the Capitol. So I mean, whatever on that. And fortunately, they were able to clear out the house. The thinking was that they needed to secure the ground, set a perimeter, and make sure that nobody left anything dangerous behind, because it was a great opportunity for anybody to just walk in and leave some kind of crock pot bomb in there or something. And they were able to clean the place out, get it ready for the hearings to commence, and for the ratification to continue. And I think at 3 o'clock in the morning out there, Joe Biden was ratified. His counts were ratified. And
Yeah, they said that they were gonna stay there all night figuring shit out. I think Nancy Pelosi said that.
Both sides said that, and
but I mean, like, okay, so I was watching this in real time. I was watching this on CNBC.
I was stuck. I didn't get shit done yesterday.
I usually don't watch the news. I read it because I don't like hearing some people talk. I don't like hearing people push narratives as they're talking. I'm like, you're supposed to report the news, not talk about. Like, okay, for instance, while I'm watching it, it was immediately turned into. It went from like a riot to these guys are trying to. What is it? What is it? Not revolution, but what's the word? Not anarchy. Well, I heard anarchy quite a bit, and then it got turned into something else. I forgot what it was.
Direction or something.
There you go. Originally, like around 3 o'clock, when I was watching them do this shit, it was like they were saying, yeah, it's anarchy. The reporter and all the reporters were all saying anarchy, but I feel like a producer pushed a word into her. So turning it into something because she's like, it's anarchy, this, sentences are going by. They're talking to people, anarchy. And then all of a sudden there was like a shift around 4 o'clock. It was like, oh yeah, it's fucking what was it again? Insurrection. The insurrectionists are doing this and insurrection, that insurrection, this. And I was just like, where did she get that? Like when you hear this lady talk, she don't sound like the person who's like, oh yeah, insurrection.
I think their legal guys probably were looking at it saying, this is probably the most sensational word that we can use.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, because they went from
it's also tied to like acts of sedition,
Oh, of course. Yeah, I can hear it. I'm not okay. Another thing that went down is as this was going on, they were saying that why aren't the police using tear gas? But I actively watched them put tear gas out on them. I was like, unless someone's smoking cigarettes really bad.
So I don't think they were. So okay, there's a shot on the west side where you see things coming up from the crowd at the police. If you check
I saw like a stick thrown, water bottles.
You can see a ball go up and then a flash.
Yeah.
So people brought flashbangs to use.
Oh, I hear you. I seen that, but I've seen them shoot tear gas into the crowd. Because there was.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
There was a video. There was a video. Yeah, no, but it was okay. So I'm so I hear the words, we're gonna set a curfew at 6 o'clock, and so I'm on the Eastern time. So I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure at 6 o'clock we're gonna get some murder going on, which we'll cover in a second. But all of a sudden I see like why they're throwing shit at the doors as they're trying to break in. I saw fucking police shoot into the crowd of tear gas. But then like I noticed that the news was reporting like this isn't happening. There's no tear gas. And I'm like, then who's flashing those fucking lights? Who has the ballistic? Because the ballistic shield is pushing them out, not in.
Right.
They're pushing them out. And the fucking tear gas is coming out from that end. And I'm like, well, fucking, unless it's, and then like, I made a joke. I'm like, well, at least they're shooting tear gas out. And then we heard the thing, the report that there's no tear gas. And then my kid goes, well, what is all that gas that's all around them?
Here's the thing. You're watching it in real time because there was some moments where shit was going down and somebody's talking. Like they're interviewing somebody. I'm like,
yes.
Why are we listening to this fuck? Get him off. I want to know what's going on over here right now. You know, this is not important. Cut him off. But when they're reporting, they don't always see what's on the cameras, or they're going through their notes, or they're talking to a producer over here or something. Shit was happening so fast. And I want to say there was a couple times where there was something like that, and it was just like, no, that's what we're seeing right there. But then again, we're seeing it live.
That's true. But I was on Facebook and Twitter at the same time, and I was going around, and I was noticing that people aren't calling it out. Like they're like, there's no, like, okay, a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, if these were black people, they'd be shot. No, we'll go there in a second. But they were saying, there's no, why aren't they tear gassing them and shit? I'm like, I hope this is not a narrative that was played, because the cops kind of tried to do some shit. But what should have happened was there should have been some kind of a security force at the White House.
Yeah. Okay. So leading up to this, Trump had planned a rally.
I know that.
Right?
Yeah. Not just him.
Right.
Not just him.
Well, right now they're going to start investigating to see what they knew when they knew it, right? Because online people were talking about going to the Capitol, and it wasn't a real thing until Trump said it. Now march down to the Capitol and take back this election.
Yeah.
Okay. So he could have easily said, go to the Supreme Court, go to the White House, help me keep that shit. How do you
Oh, there's no defending Trump. He should go to jail for this. You know what? We'll get to that too.
Yeah, 20.
But like, there's no defend. Don't try to don't even try to. There's no devil's advocate here.
No. What I'm trying to say is, they didn't know during the Black Lives Matter protest. They knew they were going to be in front of the Capitol. There was, what was it?
Fences.
There's permits taken out and all that shit. We're going to be, across from the Capitol. We're going to be there. And that basically gave them a chance to go ahead and beef up their security. So I'm not, if it was racism, it's that subtextual racism where they didn't expect this group of people to do this thing, which is racist, but not outwardly racist. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. You're in charge of shit. Let's just say you're in charge of shit, right? Do you think you should allow people to storm your Capitol ever? America, the sovereign nation of America. We dropped 2 bombs. We let it be known, America, number one. And
well, it looks like the breaches happened when they were trying to get their own cops back in to the building. Because the retreat was fucked up too. What they should have tried holding everybody at those columns, because the top of the stairs has those big stone columns that would have served as barricades. But instead, they set up at the columns and right away they backed up. But not everybody got the same message, and there's like 3 cops that got left out there in the crowd. And when
if this group of people,
everybody else came in.
If this group of people attacked a military base, what would have happened?
Oh,
this group of people, they would have been murdered, right?
Yeah,
this
is not murdered. They would have been shot.
That's what I mean. They would, yes,
assaulting police officers.
This attacking our fucking Capitol should have that kind of gravity. Like, I get protesting a Best Buy and rioting and shit like that. Target.
Yeah, I'm surprised only one person got shot. I'm very surprised that only one person.
It should have been a fucking massacre. Like you cannot do. Okay, here's a nuclear base. You can't storm a nuclear base. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Like there's nuclear weapons. You cannot. You will die. And it's not like, okay, so you grab these people, right?
yeah,
And
it's
you
not a
give.
fucking Nike or a Target
Yeah,
or a fucking CNN building.
it's it.
It's the capital of the United
Yeah,
States.
there's
It's one of the
repercussions.
branches of government.
And not just that, like a lot of top players in our government were there. If
The
they
vice
were to
president
have
was
died,
there.
if
The
they were
vice
to die,
president was in there.
yeah, if they were to die, I mean, I don't know what that means. So here's the bigger implications. Here I am, China. I'm watching this shit. I'm like, yeah, let's take that country over. Like, I mean, like, what are they gonna do? They're not united. They're gonna love us, you know? Like, I mean, there's a billion of us, and we're
That's
united.
that's the price, dude. So that's the price that the Republicans are putting it on all of our heads, because they didn't want to get primaried, or they didn't want to lose an election. Lindsey Graham came out yesterday and he was like, you know what, count me out. This has gone far enough. You have to accept the results of the election.
Duh.
I've agreed and disagreed with Trump. I'm all, you spineless bastard. You held water for this motherfucker the whole time you were running for re-election, and now that you got reelected in November, now you got the balls to say shit because you know your job is secure for the next 6 years. You're a fucking coward. There's no way around it. Lindsey Graham finally decided to speak up and say what should have been said a while ago, only because now his job is secure for the next 6 years.
But I feel like a lot of people are moving away from the incident that happened.
What do you mean? They're trying to distance themselves?
No, they're talking about, okay, there was a very big thing that happened yesterday. And from that birthed a lot of conversations that are on the, I would say, the periphery of the fucking burning house. So you got a burning house, like that's immediate. But then you got people talking about, well, if the fire department were to come at this time, and or if the fucking mayor would to put funding to wait, our house was on fire and Bob set it on fire. Let's stop Bob. Let's make sure Bob goes to jail.
Let's talk fire anymore. Right.
Let's stop Bob right now.
Bob had been saying he was going to set the place on fire for a long time.
Yeah, and then you go, no. Let's talk about the mayor. Let's talk about governor. No. That should have never happened. In fact, that should be fucking ratified a law. Like if you shot you should be shot on sight. I mean, you should never, ever, ever be able to do that to the Capitol. Ever.
My problem with
protesting.
My problem with a lot of this, and damn, we got to come back to Jacob Blake, dude. That's a big one. A police officer with a gun is giving you orders and pointing his gun at you. Follow those orders, but they're illegal orders. Okay, then you go back later, you present evidence, you go to court, you make $1 million. That those arguments they don't happen on the street. If a cop's got his gun on you and he's threatening you and telling you to get on the ground.
Yeah.
At worst, you're going to be in handcuffs, maybe put in a police car, and then become a millionaire. That's it. At best, you become a millionaire. But if you decide you're not going to follow those orders, you put yourself at risk of getting shot and killed. Now, it could come out later that the officer was wrong for doing it, but you're still dead. So what did you get?
Exactly.
And so you got the person that was trying to climb through a barricade while a bunch of people were throwing stuff at officers. We don't know.
You mean the lady?
Yeah.
The veteran of 14 years of Air Force who died. And I'm like, for what? For fucking what? You know what I mean?
I mean, her Twitter's full of QAnon and retweets. She had actually retweeted that the vice president should resign and be charged for treason. So
it's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
I saw interviews of protesters. They didn't even fucking know what they were doing. They were just kind of just doing. Like, I thought that we were going to shift the government just by doing it. They really fucking thought that.
No,
like, that's a thing.
part of me wants to do the compassionate thing and be empathetic and say, you know, these people, uh, they're victims as well of somebody that was able to manipulate their their needs and their wants and their hopes and their aspirations to weaponize it for his own good. And but no, I partially want to say that, but these people should also be responsible, you know. The people that held water for this guy for such a long time, they're not
Nah,
children. They're
I
not
have a
children.
hot I have a hot take on this. Look, I don't care what the fuck they were protesting. Honestly, if they were protesting about puppy mills and they fucking broke into the Capitol,
Oh yeah,
they
that does.
should,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that, all I care about is people attacking the Capitol and us letting it happen. And I know they tried what they thought was the best, and maybe they thought shooting people would escalate it, but at least you could set a precedent. This will not be tolerated. You storm the Capitol, you get met with lethal force.
well, and it took Trump 24 hours to more than 24 hours to come. Did you watch his 2 minute video from today?
Mm.
It looks like a hostage video.
I watched.
He's reading directly off a prompter words that you know were not written by him. You watch it, he's talking very presidential, but I
Oh,
think
I
it's
believe
because
it.
what's because you know what, he's starting to see the writing on the wall that they could take his power from him today, you know,
Yeah,
within an
I
hour if
think
they
that.
wanted to.
I
And
feel like
he
that's.
still needs 2 weeks to give pardons and make some money here. So
I think that is just bolstering from the left in the sense like we got it. We let this asshole stay around for 4 years. We couldn't do anything, and all we did was shit on each other in the primaries and then bolster up this guy in diapers. And we suck. And so what do we? What can we do? We'll fucking take his power away 2 weeks before. Fuck that.
no, no,
If
no, no, no.
anything,
The 25th Amendment would have to be invoked by Republicans.
I guess
The
I
vice
just
president would have to put it into motion.
I do think that this is a thing in which that's the left fucking pushing really hard.
Oh,
I
they're
know
pushing
that.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, no, they are fucking
Yeah,
beating
they
that
want it.
drum hard. And Mike Pence, you know, I don't know. It's what do you want to do, guy? I mean, like, what are you gonna do? I don't think anything's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna do anything to Trump. I just think these are just blustering words, just like the Russia thing, and just like the fucking lady. What was her name? The porn lady.
Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, that's it. Stormy Daniels. All that shit. All of that. I think that's just fucking just they're just talking to talk. And what I really do think it should have been like, okay, yeah, Trump's an idiot. Hey, look, if that ever fucking happens again, you're gonna get shot with a minigun or something. I mean, like, that should have never have happened
It should have
because
been the same. It should have been the same as if they stormed the White House.
yeah.
It's a co-equal branch of government. You know, you storm the
Yeah.
White House. I mean, I think people got
It's
shot just
more
to jump the
important.
fence. People
The
got shot
White
just to jump the fence.
Yeah, I have to say the White House is one thing, and I get it. It is a symbol of power, but that was like the actual power. Like, I mean, the Capitol with all those people there, they have a lot of power right there. That I mean, the president, if we were a monarchy, this wouldn't have been a thing. But this is a fucking our most of our power is there. You
Yeah.
take them out, we're fucked. As a government, we're fucked. You're talking like a catastrophic fucking thing if our fucking government goes down that way. It's catastrophic. And we let that shit happen. And over what? The Trump guy, you know, and I have to say, I don't think Trump understood what he was doing when he did it. I really do think, once again, you have a stupid person just saying shit. And he didn't know that meant to do shit. He thought he was just rah in the troops. He
No,
didn't know that they would
He knew
actually
because
fuck.
he knew because if he didn't know, then he would have come out right away and said, "Whoa, stop this right now! Get out of the Capitol building. This is wrong."
He's not like you and me. He's detached. Like, a rich person is more detached as a human being than, say, you and me. When they're hungry, it's odd. It's an odd feeling to them. They're like, what is this fucking feeling? When they don't get exactly what they want, they're confused by it. They're like, what? I can't have what I want? I don't understand. They're not like you and me. When they fly, they're not like you and me. They're like, why am I sitting next to this fucking 400-pound person who's coughing all over me. They don't fly like that. They wouldn't even know how to do that. So when I say this, he's talking, this isn't affecting him as much because it doesn't. Because there's no real repercussion for the fucking things that he's done or has done all his life. He's done so many fucking things and nothing's gone wrong. So here he is, a guy living without consequence, talking shit, right? And he's thinking, fuck, I don't give a fuck. What the fuck do I care? And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, motherfucker, you just made an entire America look weak, no matter what you think.
That was embarrassing, yeah.
Yes! Fuck everything, dude. You made it look like America doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, no matter what leader you get, unless you got a guy who's alpha and says, look, we're going to murder people. That's what we're going to do. For the next 4 years, we're murdering people. That's the only way to bring us back, really, is murder. It doesn't sound good, but we need some balls. Like, oh, yeah, you want to do this? Murder. Oh, you want to do this? Murder. Because right now, as of now, you've got actual murderers out there, full countries, who are powerful, if not equal, if not more powerful than us, with economies really powerful because they have slaves. You can't beat that. You can't fucking beat slaves. You think we have it fucking bad with our prisoners? They got gulags. Like millions of people fucking working for slave labor. We have that too. We imprisoned a bunch of black people, called it they're working off their years. It's slavery. It's fucking slavery. We have our slaves too. They have millions. We have maybe a couple million. They got millions. And like, you got a billion Chinese. You're telling me their prisoners are just like, yeah, man, this is the best day ever. No, they're fucking slaves too. Yeah. They're fucking working their asses off. So you got these two countries that are fucking becoming real powerful with their slave labor and their totalitarian regimes. And then you have us who can't fucking look left or right when pissing. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. This is what America looks like when we pee. Oh, they pee on themselves. That's what the fuck we are now. Because we can't figure shit out. Something simple. Simple as fucking this. Fuck right, fuck left. Attack the Capitol. Sorry, Bo. You're dead. We got the drones. You know? But no, as it turns out, you could do whatever the fuck you want. And let's go into the racism talk. If you're white. Now, come on. I'm not that guy. Who says right. America is racist. I'm not that guy. But you're telling me if black people were to do that, there wouldn't be more murder? No. I feel that in my bones that they would have.
Even the preparation is a little bit racist, but
dude, there's no doubt if you were like, there was only maybe 5,000 people, maybe 5,000 black people fucking storming the Capitol. How many? Well, we only got like one white lady who died. How many black people would have died? A lot, a fucking lot, dude. That's how I feel. I'm not that guy, but I'm calling it how I sees it. They stormed our fucking Capitol. This ain't no Best Buy. I mean, this ain't, they ain't stealing Nikes. They went into our fucking country, our fucking Capitol, and started terrorizing our government. I don't know. And now I take a step back. I don't even think fucking those people knew what they're doing. I think this was a strategic attack from fucking our enemies on that. Hopefully I don't get killed by some fucking cruiser missile. But I mean, like, I really do think this is like a Russian thing or a Chinese thing. Or maybe Korea.
A lot of the conspiracy theories and a lot of the rhetoric online, it comes from outside. But the reason I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I shit on Lindsey Graham because that guy's on record, and you can tell by what he's done and how he's voted and how he's talked about Trump. He's dishonest. He's a liar and he's a coward. But
I think
when it comes to the police, it's like I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard to rationalize why they wouldn't fire on a white crowd versus, like if a white crowd had. I saw a really good one. You see these police like grabbing this one black lady just standing there, You know, they're just grabbing her, pulling her through the line. I'm like,
Of course.
shit,
Of
man.
course.
But these guys, they're just retreating, you know, and I don't know, man.
Right? You trying to call it like you're trying to be, I like to see both sides of the fence. That's how I do. I tried hard to see the both sides of the fence, but there's something about America and me. I think we should have fucking lit everybody up for that. You can't attack our fucking power structure like that.
I think once they're on the ground, it's like turn around and walk out, or I'm pulling this trigger.
I don't think that happened though.
I'd have been like, Bill, take out your cell phone
Because they
record
broke the
this
door down.
guy right now.
They broke the door down.
There's scenes where they're in the House chamber.
Yeah.
And they got a barricade and people are sticking their faces.
But they shouldn't even gotten that far.
They shouldn't have got that far, but I would have been like, hey man, record me saying this to this motherfucker. I'm about to shoot you in the face if you don't turn around and walk out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
But that didn't happen. There's pictures of these guys making a mockery of our fucking government. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you bastards who think that you're hardcore about America wearing my fucking stripes like you fucking did something. You pieces of shit think you know what you're doing. And I shouldn't say that because they could track me down because I live in the heart of fucking podunk, racist fucking country that is called Michigan. I swear to God, dude, I know so many fucking people here that are from different elks that have like, it's like, they're just protesting and they're just doing that. And I'm like, that's the racist fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. You fucking pieces of shit are breaking down but like, I get protesting. That's waving your fucking flag. Hell no, we won't go. I know, wear a dick on your hat, instead of a vagina, wear a big fucking dick on your head because you're a dickhead. But no, you broke into our fucking our house, you would say, our heart. Like a heart of the fucking nation with wearing our fucking stripes and shit, painting your face like it's a fucking, like that. That's what George Washington wanted. He wanted you to paint your fucking face red, white, and blue and break into the 200 years. This has never happened.
I don't know what to feel towards people that are still going to fly Trump flags, from here on out. I mean,
I'm accepting because I see they don't know the error of their ways.
But see that again, that's where I was coming from earlier. But then that absolves them of the responsibility of having to look things up for themselves, to research things, to look at both sides of the coin. I feel like right now, I mean, I drove out and I saw a flag and I was just like, I saw that same damn flag in the Capitol. Getting waved around, committing violent acts. To me, that's the same as the Southern flag, the Confederate flag.
This one girl that works with me, she's black. I have to say that, and we're cool because we're both kind of ghetto, so we're like the only ghetto people there, and so we resonate pretty well. So she was explaining, and she's not like a genius or anything. She's not I'm not going to say, I don't know how to explain it, but let's just say she doesn't like read books or anything like that. Nah, she reads books. Whatever. I don't know how to explain this, but in her limited way of talking and gangster talk and shit like that, she was like, I don't feel comfortable being black in America after seeing that. And I looked at her and usually I'm against that kind of talk. But when she said that, I was like, you should be. I didn't say it, but in my head, I was thinking, you should be fucking afraid for us to allow a bunch of white people break into the fucking Capitol. And we just allowed it. That doesn't speak to whatever Trump is. That speaks to what people are, and then people defended this shit. People are defending it now. In fact, it's getting to a point where they're no longer defending it. They're doing the classic, let's talk about something else. It's pretty close to what we're talking about, but not really, because what happened here is a bunch of white people stormed the fucking Capitol and we should be stuck there.
The lady that got shot, there's calls for there's some people calling her a martyr.
Yeah.
And
it's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
It is sad, but I mean, she bears responsibility. I mean, you know, for
No,
what
that's like saying soldiers bear responsibility when they're killing fucking people in a
no, that's
different
different.
country.
That's somebody giving you an order and you facing the possibility of the brig. Yeah, there's you know, there's rules that let you, you know, hey, that's an unlawful order. I'm not gonna follow it type of deal. But she flew from here to there. Nobody ordered her to, you know, nobody gave her a command to go. The only person that did that was Donald Trump. But she, as a voter, you know, towards a political figure president, he didn't give her a presidential order. You know,
Although you know what though,
he just kind of
although you
followed this
I
crowd.
I I hear you, but you know, hindsight's 50-50. 100 years, 200 years ago, we're like, what? What? We can't have slaves anymore? That's fucking bullshit. You know, we got to have slaves. You know, they make your cotton. I have to have a shirt. And like and then so like the rebels would think, not rebel, I shouldn't say that, but the people who thought differently, they were the protesters. They were, you know, doing stuff, you know, and they were stupid. And then, you know, fast forward to now, we're like, oh yeah. And I'm not saying that these people are right, but we should always allow for this kind of
Oh,
thinking.
yeah. No, no, I'm not faulting her for her thinking, but
I'm just thinking that there should have been a lot more murder.
but when you're committing a felony, gotta maybe stop and ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What am
Yeah.
I doing this for? And is this the right way to support the reason that I'm here? You know, if I really think that, you know, Trump should be president, or that they keep hiding behind voting reform, you know, it's stupid. Um,
You know, are you talking about getting rid of the electoral college?
yeah,
You know what's weird? Okay, check it out. I've been like this before even Trump. I wanted to get rid of the electoral college, and I made many arguments about
no,
this.
they're not
Check it.
arguing about, no, they're talking about voter reform. They want
Yeah.
voter IDs. They want to continue gerrymandering and all that bullshit, right? They don't want to get rid of the electoral college. And that's kind of why the savvy Republicans were like, "Hey guys, shut the fuck up! You know, we don't want this. We want this process because this is the
Mm.
process that gives us access to the White House.
No,
Because
but
we've
have you
had the
seen the
popular vote since 2004.
you? But
You
have
know?
you seen the sideways thinking though? The alternatives. So whenever you can't win an argument, what you kind of do is change the subject. You know what I mean? That way you can't really lose because you're talking about something else. So instead of saying something like, so what would you think, right? If you get rid of the electoral college, you would think that you would want a vote 1-for-1, right? I mean, that's duh, right? That's what most people would want if you got rid of the electoral college. And that's the primary argument of getting rid of it, right? But then there's these people, these intellectuals who argue, yeah, if we got rid of the electoral college, here's a good alternative. And it's not one is a 1-for-1 vote. It's more of the same electoral college, but you just change aspects of it to be the same thing, where people kind of still dictate who the fucking president will be, rather than be a 1-for-1 vote, like a popular vote. You know, you would think, because we're all arguing, let's have popular vote, right? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so we all vote, and then this one person will figure it. And I was like,
It's the electoral
that's a,
college.
that's electoral college. But that was the argument. I saw 5 different versions of the same fucking thing. It was like, these people will vote, but then this person will decide, or these people will vote and it'll go to this electoral. And I'm like, it's the same fucking thing. And like in each aspect, it was like how hard out of 5 fucking proposals was it not to sneak in one vote for one, you know, like here's President A, and it all goes there. They couldn't do it. It couldn't be done. Couldn't be done. There's a conspiracy there, right there. I was like, but why would you, out of all those alternatives, you would list the same fucking thing 5 times?
The election should probably look more, and this is still kind of an electoral college, but it should look more like how we elect the House of Representatives.
We just vote.
We just vote, and it's by
Yeah,
district,
yeah,
so
that works.
not by state, because you know you really do almost disenfranchise half of California that votes the other way, you know, and California's votes would end up getting split, but it would actually still be closer to the popular vote because you're increasing the resolution of the electoral college. Right now, the resolution, it's like low res. It's
Yeah.
like, 480i. You know,
Yeah.
the resolution's really low. You only get a picture, a half picture of what California looks like. California goes blue all the time. Does that mean that
Hmm.
everybody in California is blue? No,
No.
it's pretty split. With the majority going blue. Maybe like 55-45, right? Okay, so if we go by districts, by congressional districts, then it would be, you know, about half of the electoral votes would go to one candidate and then the other half would go to the other, depending on the vote. And that would look more like 1-to-1. But and it would also cure this other problem, because right now the electoral college is the way for the states to exercise how they choose a president, which is why you have some states that actually do this. They partition up their electors. It hasn't got on widespread, right? I think I want to say it's Nebraska and Maine.
I don't know.
There's,
But
there's
I
a
do know, I do know this though. The primary reason you have electoral college is so you give voices to those other states that don't have
yes,
as many
and
people.
and
That's the primary
and I've made
reason.
that argument before. It's part
An
of
archaic system. I always said, like, if like Podunk, was it Florida's battle state, isn't it?
kind of.
Because it kind of it's very flip floppy, isn't it?
It hasn't gone blue since the 90s,
Really?
since the early 90s. Yeah, it used to be blue. It's been pretty red.
Is Michigan now considered a swing state?
Might be,
Because
yeah.
they went blue and they
It
went
was it
red
was blue
and
for
it
the
was blue.
longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was blue since 92, and
Well,
then
what I'm getting at is though, if like a person doesn't have, it's not like we have horses, and if a person doesn't fucking get the news, like shit, that's your bad, and then maybe your vote shouldn't count. From an archaic system, maybe your vote shouldn't count then, if that's the case. But like, I mean, like most people who vote, their needs aren't really met. Some of them are like, and most people are voting to represent who they are. So like, I mean, like, I think you would have a better voting system if everyone just voted and it's 1-for-1. I just think if it was just 1-for-1, I like the district idea too, but I
the,
think 1-for-1
the
in
problem
this
with
world.
the problem with 1-for-1 is that it's a federalist view. It's a very progressive view.
Oh, I agree.
For in support of central government, where everybody's just going to vote and everybody's vote is the same, and the states really don't have a voice anymore after that.
That's good.
It is, but
Because the governor should have the power, and they do, of how to manage a state, and that's a different thing onto itself. And you got your districts, and that's settled. But when you're talking federal and you're talking government and a world view, if all of us voted Trump, like not all of us, but if most of us, the majority, voted Trump, it that's just the way it's gonna be. You know what'd be weird though? On what I saw, I didn't even consider this as a bad thing, but it is kind of bad. So if we would have to first, before we could do that, we would have to first come up with some kind of a way to narrow the presidency to back to two. Not like Kanye could write in and these people could write in, because if the reason,
I got you. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because if you have like 22 people fucking coming in,
Well, that's why you have primaries.
no, but Kanye kind of got in there. He wrote himself in somehow, even with the primaries. You know what I mean?
There have been cases where like a third party candidate comes in and sneaks some
No,
votes from the
I
candidate.
hear you, but you don't want a situation where you have a president who only got 38% of the votes,
Right.
and only because 22 other people came in, because that would be my strategy, right? So if I wanted to win, I would come up with like 22 fucking false people to suck up the votes and then be crazy, and then I would just be normal, and then like I would win by 38%, but I got these wackos fucking, I mean, that's how you would manipulate. That's why you would have to create a system to have only two choices,
A billionaire could probably do that, which is scary.
which is a lot of them, because they're already in charge. You want to make this stuff kind of like billionaire proof.
Yeah.
And maybe have some kind of a standard, like you have to have like 100 IQ, 200 IQ or something. Like, what's wrong with that? Because why would you want a retard And no offense to retards, why would you want that? Why would you want? I'm not saying that we have a stupid president, but I mean, anyways, I mean, like, why would you want that? Like, if I failed with the president of that has a 200 IQ, okay, all right. But if I fail and I have a president who was dumb and has an IQ of like 100, or like, Forrest Gump logic, this is where normal people are. You're right here. I don't want that. I mean, duh. That's like, it's written for. Don't you think you'd have a better chance if you had a smarter president? Just a better chance. I'm not saying like it's perfect. I'm just saying a better chance.
And see, it's because back in the day,
I know,
you,
farmers. You wanted a farmer to be president.
If you wanted to get your word out, you had to be able to write in a way that could influence people to want to spread your word, right? But now with social media, it still works that way, but the reach is a lot farther and faster. And sensationalism gets you to the top quick.
Now,
and it's a lot easier to weaponize now. I mean, that girl that licked the toilet seat back during COVID, the beginning of COVID, is making a lot of money now for licking that fucking toilet seat.
Or the Cash Me Outside lady.
The Cash Me Outside,
she's fucking 12 now. She's a millionaire.
Yeah, she made money. And then you come to Trump, and he was able to push out this narrative of being a good businessman, in the sense that you're able to create something and it sustain itself.
Well, no, he was an attack. He was an attack on the establishment. So for many years, you had been seeing the same kind of fucking thing. And then here, this asshole said, "You know what I told China? Fuck you." He said that. Something to that effect. But he said, "Fuck you." Oh, no. Listen here, you motherfucker. That's what he did. And they're like, "Oh, shit, my president." Because he talks like a Mia as I drink my beers and eat my Burger King or whatever the fuck. And I get it. And that's your everyday man. But in reality, I don't know, man. I think that we should have smarter people running the country. Maybe a philosopher. I don't know.
You're not wrong, but I don't know if we could come up with a standard for it. And
it's easy. IQ test done.
No, but that's subjective too. It's not a
better than nothing.
No, nothing is American. Just be this age.
Well, I mean, the wheel didn't just fucking existed. Somebody made it. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have cars. Somebody made that shit. Are you telling me at a fucking 350 million people, we couldn't produce some kind of a test, a standard?
Well, I think we all kind of agreed that a wheel is better than a triangle if you want to roll something down a hill.
Roger that. I don't see why people would not agree for a standard.
Because that's objective. You can measure the speed of a cart with a circle versus the speed of a cart with a triangle as a wheel. You could that's what objectiveness means. You can measure.
You know what? I've been watching a lot of Queen's Gambit. I have you in checkmate. You don't even know it. Look, bro, can you just be a doctor just because you wear a white coat?
No, but then
because you talk the talk.
Not because you could talk, because you could do the do for a specific task.
You have to pass a license. You have to have a license.
Yes. You have to have a license. You have to have a specific task, and that's also objective because you either know how to sew somebody shut or you don't.
Although I agree with you, it is objective. It is a thing. There is a standard. If I'm a doctor in Florida, I could be a doctor in California. And if I'm a doctor in California, I could be a doctor in Alaska. If I'm a doctor in Mexico, I could be a doctor in America. There is a standard.
You're talking about a specific skill and ability to do something like weld something together or sew somebody shut. Here it's how do you measure the ability of somebody to convey the wants and needs of a constituency?
See, now I feel like you're just arguing to argue, because listen to my analogy.
I'm listening to your analogy.
We didn't have doctors before. We just came up with the consensus. This is how we should have doctors.
No, we did have doctors before, but it was like some people I kind of learned how to set this bone from my uncle.
Well, it all culminated
in society. That we can call those people shaman or whatever.
A society created a standard, as of now, in the year 2021, to be a doctor, we came up with the standard as a society.
Yeah, but
I would believe that as a society, we could come up with the standard. And of course, it would then evolve. Just like the DSM-9 says that gays were part of a mental thing. And now it's different. It's your sexuality. Same thing like transgender. At one time, you could be a psychiatrist and say, no, the DSM-9, which governs all this bullshit, it at one time said transgender was a mental disability. It's a gender dysphoria. But now it's accepted. And that was an evolving process. Just like you can have a president, we create a standard, and then we say, you know what? The standard, it works, but we should add this. Like, and I can even backdate it. Say this existed from time memorandum, right? At one time, slaves were okay. At another time, slaves are bad. And we did that. So right now, have it in writing rather than just become some kind of a thing. This is our standard. And then we could go, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't go to war all the time. Our new standard. Well, and the president would have to pass a test.
Well, the usual standards are their voting records or their decision making or the things that they've done in the past.
I'm talking about standards.
Which is why they have an age limit, right? A lower age limit.
If you have to be a doctorate to be a fucking doctor, right? That's not like just a 4-year university and what decisions you made. It's a 4-year plus another 4-year plus 2 years of residency and a bunch of other shit, and then you're a doctor. And then, like, I can then look at the doctor and he can just Google some fucking bullshit. And then, of course, he can lie to me and things like that. But at least it's a better thing than some guy in a dark alley saying, hey, man, if you try these pills, it'll fucking work. But no, 9 times out of 10, I go to a doctor's office, I'm going to get something that's kind of a semblance of a doctor.
The problem with that is it starts taking the voice away from the people, because now you're telling the people which people they can and can't choose as their representatives.
I think that's a good thing. You're talking about the ruler of a sovereign nation. You don't think that they should have some...
He's not the ruler of a sovereign nation. He's the president over the Constitution. He should be the defender of the Constitution.
Oh, I agree. I know what the powers of the presidency is. He's the executive branch. He enforces fucking shit. I get it. And then we're at war. Say we declare war on Afghanistan. We declare war. Guess what he is? We're being attacked by Russia. Guess what he is? He is the ultimate ruler.
We have the ability to change that, though. We've accepted.
No, I agree. I agree. But at least a guy with that kind of power, with power of nuclear codes, the power to shift the nation's thingamabobber, the galvanizing of Congress, all that shit.
This is why it's important to get out and vote, especially if you have to vote against somebody who you.
But I'd rather vote for someone who
qualified.
But a lot of people don't know that. And that's not because we need to be educated. That's because we should have created a standard long ago. Like, long ago, it should be a standard. You can't just be a lawyer. You can't just be a fucking x-ray tech. You can't just be a nurse. You have to go through a standard. And why not?
Again, those are all positions that are available for hire
and have great power.
That it's not great power. You still get to choose your doctor. It's not really forced on you unless you're like unconscious or something, right?
Yeah, but if you, and then there you go. You just defeated your own argument.
Again, usually you pick your qualifications, and a doctor doesn't just get to work in a hospital. They have to go through all of this residency and all this bullshit.
But a doctor's a doctor, period. So if I want something, I'm a doctor. A doctor's a doctor.
Yes, but as a society, we've kind of placed ourselves in other professionals to confer that doctor.
Sounds good.
Title.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Yes, but I don't think we'd be down for that as a society, to start limiting our options for who we can choose to represent us. Because again,
we inadvertently have, because you will never be president.
We have because we vote. We have because we vote, and
no, we vote for what's put before us through the primaries. You're not voting for Kanye West. You're not voting for, I don't know who that lady was. You're voting for either the Republican or the Democrat, and that's ruled by the primaries, which you would think that you would have more say, but for some reason you don't. I didn't get to vote for Andrew Yang. I got to vote for either person A or person B or a waste of vote.
There's a problem with the primary process because I almost feel like it should happen nationwide at the same time. Because one primary affects the next primary affects the next primary.
What is the
And
point of the primaries if you could just add yourself though too? That's a thing too, because like Kanye shouldn't have been on the ballot, but yet there he was.
well, it wasn't always a thing. So parties, they actually didn't want parties when they originally framed the Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution, the original Constitution, that talks about parties.
Yeah.
What happened was, it was like, okay, we all kind of have the same idea. They happen to all kind of coalesce around somebody that has the opposing ideas. Well, he's going to be president because we're fractured. So we need to come together and choose one person to represent all of us to go and be nominated. And that's where this party system started coming up. It was just a way to more ensure that your way of thinking was projected out there. Because if it's fractured and there's 10 people on your side that want to be president, and there's only one person on the other side that wants to be president, well, the votes are going to get split your 10 ways, and over there, they're all going to end up in the same person, and that person's going to be elected every single time.
I don't think I still don't see how a standard's a bad thing. I'm not saying like because it's already limited through the primaries, and why can't it be even before you could even before
It's
you
limited
fucking,
through the primaries. The primaries were designed as a way to go ahead and decide, okay, well then who's going to represent our democratic values, who's going to represent our Republican values. But the
or
problem
independent
is,
values.
the problem is New Hampshire and Ohio get to be the first motherfuckers to say and start blocking off who's going to get to keep going, and the money starts flowing to the people that pick those. And by the time we get to Michigan and California, we're shit out of luck. We're left.
Well, we're gonna go the direction we're gonna go. Period. Like you could kind of fuck. I really didn't want Biden to be fucking president, but I knew not president, but through the primaries, I was like, they're gonna push him forward. And if COVID wasn't a thing, I really do think Trump would have been president again.
I think so too.
But that's the way it broke down. I just think they should have a standard. I really do. I mean, it is broken up in a way where like the rich do become president. Like you're not getting a poor person. You're just not. And they're always going to be rich. And like they say, I'm not rich. I'm like, well, fuck, you have a house. I don't. I mean, I have a house, but you know what I mean? Like,
most people don't.
Yeah,
most people are living...
the fuck, man. They don't represent us. They represent a fucking rich person. I don't know. I just think there's a standard. I don't want to argue anymore about that. Let's get back to black people getting shot. So this lady I talked to, right? She said that she was hanging out. I see a lot of there's a lot of racism around where I'm at, but there's various degrees of this. There's the fucking I am totally KKK, and then there's I am not racist. I don't like black people, but I ain't racist. And then there's the I have black friends. No, come on, that's pretty racist. Anyways, so this chick's like, so the black lady, she not married. She got with this one white guy, and he's got a good, in comparison to her, ghetto. Like I get it, dude. I fucking get it. And so they're not living. That something happened to their apartment where they have to kind of spend the night. So spending the night, and this shit happens, right? And she goes, I don't feel safe in America because America, and she didn't know how to articulate it, but in my mind, I articulated it for her. It's there. She's in a country where these people who are fucking racist are allowed to attack, and you like to some kind of core, she understands what kind of attack this is, because this isn't just attacking a courthouse or a mayor's house. This was attacking the heart of our country. It really was. And we just allowed it. And then we talked about other things. So we let all these racist people fucking do this. And she goes, I don't feel safe in America because that. So the mother-in-law, or the mother, I guess the mother of the boyfriend, is there, and she's that racist type of woman who's like trying to defend all the racist shit, like, I don't know why you would say that. Trump's done all these things for all black people. And it's I've heard these talking points before. It's the the economy's up for black people. That's the number one, I think, that I've heard. And I was like, I know the president has nothing to do with that. The economy is going to go like this. It just is. So whenever a Democrat's like, oh yeah, I brought the economy up. No, you didn't. The economy is going to do what it's going to do. In fact, you guys could have helped out the economy with stimulus checks, but you said, fuck it. You don't care. You don't fucking care. You just bolster. Oh yeah, $600. I wanted 2,000. Shut up. You know you didn't. You liars. You fucking liars. You didn't give a shit. Left doesn't care. Right doesn't care. They're just doing something where they're trying to look virtuous while tacking on other laws, like you can't stream or this can't happen. And that's something that people don't even understand. This was just so they could pass other laws. Right? Fuck it. I'll pay $600 to all these people just so I can get this law passed, and this law passed, and this law passed, all these fucked up laws. And then so she says, yeah, they've done this. And then she doesn't even understand what's happening here. So this black woman is saying, I'm afraid. So at that point, no matter what she says, whatever she says,
she's wrong. Yeah.
You got to just let her go and say that. If somebody tells me they're afraid of X, I don't, and they're fucking genuine about it too.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm afraid of fucking asteroids hitting me. I'm genuinely afraid to be a black person in America. Not me, but someone says that, I don't go to fucking say why, you stupid fuck. That's not the time. That's not my time. But this woman thought it was okay to say, yeah, Trump did, to battle her in this time of fear, because for the first time in 200 years, you're saying something like, I watch the fucking news. You watch the news. We don't watch news. We read
and it dismisses her fear too. It dismisses her. It dismisses it, and it doesn't acknowledge what she just said that she's feeling. It's like, I'm sad because my dog died. Fucking dogs die all the time. Get over it. Okay, just tell me, oh, I feel much better now. No.
Yeah, I was like that's more racism. And I didn't want to feed this lady the racism card. I just nodded my head, listened to her story, but I didn't want to feed into it, say, yeah, that fucking bitch, and try to hone in on that darkness. I was just like, I hear what you're saying. It fucking sucks. And I went that direction. But in my head,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
In my head, I had this thought. I was like, that's fucked up, because if you're black and you have these fears and you saw that shit and you understand this, America was attacked and it was by white people and we let it go. And we're talking about everything else other than this. We're talking about how Trump's a shitty person. We're talking about this, that. Who fucking cares? We allowed this to happen. That's systemic. If we keep talking about other things other than this attack right here, because we are moving away from this topic, and then we're gonna go into other topics. Oh, it's bad that this happened to this one black guy, and the cops are and then we're moving away from what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? Let's fucking laser in on what the fuck happened and keep staying there until that's fixed. But we're not doing that. What we're talking about is, oh, we should have, could have, did this, could have, did that. We've forgotten what's happened. It's like if you raped a person and we're talking about society and all that. What about this person? This person has feelings. Let's talk about this person, And it sucks that she's felt that way. And I know that, happy ending. The mom the next morning texted and said, hey, I'm sorry for fucking doing all that shit. Good power to you. But there's so many of these fucking people that have different views on this whole thing. And it's always breaking down to, yeah, fucking, we should take our country back.
Yeah, from who? Nobody took it from you, and 74 million said one thing and 81 million said another. And that's kind of how elections work. We can't have two presidents, but we can have,
discourse,
distribution of power
or discourse. We could talk about it, argue about it. I'd rather have arguments than attacking installations freely.
Yes. Yeah. They still have representative government. They still have a voice in the Senate. They still have a voice in the House. And guess what? The Supreme Court is stacked.
I thought the House was taken over by Democrats. I thought that like there's 2 independents,
No, but
and
you
then
still have representation though.
yeah.
You still the resolution is actually higher in the House of Representatives
Of
because
course, yeah,
there's 400 something people in there, right?
yeah,
Um,
as it should be. More people should have more power than the one guy.
right. And it's
You
just
know.
one guy, and it'll only be 4 years, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll move on. Just because you don't have the presidency anymore doesn't mean that the soul of the country is gone.
And like worst
Uh,
case scenario, like what could Biden do that's so fucking bad? Like they're like, oh, he'll fucking do this, this, and that, and like
that's what I don't get. What is it that they don't like about Biden?
it's that
What's
their guy lost.
I think that's all it is. It's a winning versus losing mentality. It's like, they lost a soccer game, so they're gonna go flip cars over and set them on
Yeah.
fire. There's no real threat to democracy with Biden becoming president.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that's been presented to show that anything was done, illegally to flip it. They're calling out Stacey Abrams for doing, voting drives. It's like you guys could have done the same thing.
And
Um,
I have to say, like, if I try to defend Trump as much as I can, because I see the arguments being said. I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. But in reality, this is it. This is that. And I try to see a balanced view. But after fucking telling people to fucking attack the Capitol, if you would have told them to attack Best Buy or something, I could probably make an argument maybe. But you made our country look fucking weak. And like you did this, and
well,
it's just
now today he put out this video playing nice because he knows if they take away his presidency right now, he's not going to have the next 2 weeks to wield his power anymore.
I want him to go to
Make
jail.
money through pardons and shit. He's selling those fucking pardons.
I want him to go to jail so bad, dude.
I
After fucking today or yesterday, I should say, I was
the
like,
the Georgia phone call.
yeah, I don't care about that. I honestly don't. I really don't give a shit about all these he said, she said things.
It's not
But
a he said, she said, he said, and he's recorded.
no, because I could argue that away. I could say that this idiot doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and
that's the
and then he does this with your. I don't care. I don't, because nothing's gonna happen. But guess what he did do where he didn't know what would happen? I mean, you could be an idiot. That's cool. But you can't be an idiot and then do something that wounded America to the point where we don't even know we were wounded. Because right now, the news feeds I got going on aren't talking about how he fucking destroyed America just then. It's about how he needs to get pardons and how they're going to take his power away. But we've moved away from that fucking conversation he had on that podium where it incited a fucking riot that hurt America more than anything has in the last 200 years. And
so
for
what do you think should happen then?
He should definitely go to jail for inciting this. Yeah, for that
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
And if you want to tack on other shit, so be it. But if all the things he's done to this point, name the thing that went 200 years without having. You had
Well,
people inciting a fucking riot on our Capitol, and they got away with it. That's the thing. That's the thing about it. He got away with it because that's not even a conversation we're having. You know what we're talking about? Old news.
yeah, when the National
It's like
Guard
he murdered somebody.
when the National Guard showed up, they should have surrounded the Capitol and not let anybody out.
To get the people.
They should have got to the doors and then said, all right, we're zip tying you motherfuckers right here, right now.
We're sorting this the fuck out.
Yes.
Because this wasn't a Best Buy.
Yeah. This wasn't a Target.
This isn't Nike shoes.
No.
Nobody was attacked
nobody should be shot and killed because they're stealing a television, right? Unless they're stealing it from my house and I've got my gun.
Yeah. But if you threaten a fucking government official, I get threatening a person and they're valid. Threatening a government official? What happens if we don't have government officials?
No,
imagine if we
not threatening, actively doing something. I mean, the people were
it's also a threat. It is a threat to their lives because they don't know. They don't fucking know. And you have COVID, maybe you could kill one with COVID. Just to say, worst case scenario, you killed everyone there. You've killed our government. If our government dies, we die. It only takes like 3 days for chaos.
But
Imagine not having a government, a center structure of government.
Here's the flip side, though, Kevin,
Oh,
and
damn it, dog.
where this racism kind of came in handy. Imagine the headlines if we'd had a fucking bloodbath in the Capitol. If everybody would have been killed in the Capitol, yeah, we would have projected strength, but it would have looked way worse.
Would it?
Like my original.
Don't attack the Capitol.
There's that, but it got to the point where hundreds of people were shot to death in the Capitol. You know,
for attacking the Capitol.
It would have been.
It would have been like. It would have been this. It would have been this. Well, I guess there's some limits we can't push.
I know, I understand, but if you're inside, you know, and you're the cops and you're able to regain control, and you know you don't have to kill anybody yet because.
But you don't like it's good that no one. Hey, look, it's good that no officials died. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't know that.
You know, you're right. I don't know that.
What's the next time? Hey, I'm Kyle Reese fucking jacking off to fucking Nazis whipping Jews, and that's what I do. And I'm like, you know what? I know how to make a bomb. Okay, cool. Well, we could storm a place like that. Oh, okay, cool. I just murdered Congress. Dude, the world would fucking end.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right. We don't know how far it would have gotten.
It's cool that no one died. We didn't fucking know that.
But it didn't happen. You know, the decisions that were made in the Capitol resulted in one loss of life.
We got lucky.
Instead of we did get lucky. We did get
dude,
lucky.
like think about it. If our fucking government dies, we're dead. Like it would be like, and like people think they know what anarchy is, but they truly don't understand. Like they should go to Africa and see anarchy in its truest form, or go to these countries that are war torn. I mean, like there's nothing like getting raped to death. You know what I mean? Like you get in hunger, children starving. You know what I mean? Like you take our government out, the fucking thing would cascade out of control. And then that's just America. And like the America that has been helping out all these other countries.
Well, there's this other problem. If the House was controlled by Republicans in this case, then these objections probably would have worked, which is scary. You know, if we'd have had more Republican congressmen than Democrats, they could have said, well, these votes don't look legit. We're going to put them aside. You know what I'm saying? And what would have happened? So we need to look at this procedure thing, you know, and make sure that it doesn't do what could have been done.
Dude, they could have took the votes, dude. And that would have like so like now we don't question what am I trying to say?
We have to
trust doubt.
We have doubt.
Yeah. If we have doubt, I mean that's really like, you remember Iron Man 2? It's not that you have to kill Tony Stark, you just have to draw his blood.
Yep.
And like that's what you did with America. And then like we're fucking beating a dead horse. What I'm all about is this. Here I am, China. Here I am, Russia. And I either I didn't know that I just won, or I have a theory that they have these farms, these Russian troll farms, you know, and their goal is to do what we do to them, is to get on social media, create accounts, create civil unrest. They actually did this with Muslims and LGBT. They had a a protest with Muslims against LGBTQ, whatever. And then you had LGB like fight against Muslims, and they had both protests at the same time at a place. So all they did was create a page of Muslims, create a page for LGBT, and then they said, "Hey, we're going to rally here," and then we're going to rally here for purpose to have these two people there. And so when the police got there, they're like, "What the fuck did we do? I don't want to be Islamic phobic, but I don't want to be homophobic." And like they manifested an actual thing, and I think this was a testing ground. This is a thing that was researched and happened. So, and they did it. And I have a theory that this isn't like conspiracy theory, but this is what I'm thinking. They have groups of people doing this. We have them too. And we do this all the time. We create groups and they do this. They had their own Women for Trump. You know, I heard that. They got 5,000 people there. Women for Trump, an internet site. It's supposedly created by a woman, but I'm just saying, a woman for Trump. 5,000 people decided to come there and then storm the Capitol. But whatever. I have a theory that the Russian troll people, they're just doing their thing and they won, and they didn't know that they were going to win. They didn't know that this would have happened. And so it's like a thing in which we're like, well, so you're Russia, right? Your team did something and you're like, fuck, well, we were playing this game and they were playing this game, but we kind of won. But the game wasn't to win. It was just to do this forever. And you're like, fuck, what do we do now? I mean, we won. What do we do? Like, what do we do with this win? You know, like, it's like you took the bishop without even knowing it. And you're like, I could take their knight and their horse and their queen. But if I do that, there won't be an America left. You know, like, do I do this? What do I do? And I think that's what happened. They've accidentally fucked us over and they don't know what to do. Because what do? Like, invade? I would invade right now.
Well, they don't need to invade. What's been working since Trump got elected, Russia's been expanding its influence.
Yeah,
they're the stable power in Europe and Asia. So Eastern Europe and Asia, they've been leaning on them more because we're not there anymore. Trump pulled us out of a bunch of things, and we basically stopped helping. And so they're like, well, fuck, who can help us now? And Putin comes in like, okay, I'll help you guys now, but you guys gotta be beholden to me. And that's how you spread your influence. That's why when people are like, why are we sending money to them? So that we have influence, so that we're known out there and we have a say in what happens out there, to keep your fucking gasoline cheap, to keep your fucking cell phones cheap, to keep all the shit that you enjoy, to keep your quality of life where it is, as meager as it is. At least you're not having to share resources with those countries. But guess what? We're not the power anymore. We're not. Now we have to compete, and that's bullshit. We didn't have to compete before. We didn't have to.
Well, I think that we need to scale back now. I think it's like, okay, like in chess, you don't want to overreach. You kind of want to like retreat if you can, and then grow to come back and attack again.
Yes.
And so like, maybe we should scale back and maybe we shouldn't give as much anymore, just so we can create. But then again, I really do think there's influences that we have no control over.
Kevin, this pandemic presented a second moon landing opportunity for us.
And we fucked it all up. But Pfizer had them vaccines.
They had to partner up overseas, and they did it without Operation Warp Speed. And when Trump went out and said, thanks to Operation, they were quick to come out and say, no. We didn't take any fucking subsidies. We didn't do none of that shit. We had to do this shit on our own.
Yeah.
And okay, so Operation Warp Speed will get the vaccine out. And I'm not out there, you're out there, but to me, looking at it, it looks like that got fucked too. I don't know.
It did. We were supposed to have 50 million. We only got 2.
This was an opportunity for the US to come out and again show them we are the technological, organizational beacon of fucking the best shit ever. We're gonna do this. We're gonna save the fucking planet. Russia put out their bullshit thing that people are dying with, and we could have been the ones that landed on the moon with this motherfucker, and again spread our influence throughout the world and made money off of it too. We could have made money off of this too. And no. So
I think you're right. I don't know.
But
I don't know what to think about that.
But what happened, that it lowers our prestige. What the lack of leadership, Russia's been able to move in. And so what does Russia do now? They keep doing what they're doing. Keep us at odds against each other. Just keep going. And in the meantime, while we're, punching ourselves in the face, we're not realizing that they're out there getting
doing, yeah. I had a thought I was going to bring up. Yeah, okay, check it out. Here's another thing, right? Optics, right? So in one instance, you got only 350 people, only 350,000 people died. It's not like millions, right? That's the fucking rhetoric that I hear here out here in fucking Podunk, Michigan. I
It's a
really
Pearl
hate.
Harbor. It's a Pearl Harbor every day.
Yeah, but for some reason that's not a thing, right? This number, right? That's not a thing. The same fucking people using these numbers. Also, that many people dying. 29 people had a reaction to the vaccine. 29 out of 2.1 million people. 2.1 million. 29 people. The worst reaction. Anaphylactic shock. Did they die? No. Nothing but epinephrine
Or
cures everything.
or 7 felons voted in Florida. You know.
Well, I don't know about this.
So I think it was Florida. There's a state where seven ex-felons voted, but it's a state where ex-felons can vote. And so, but
That makes it so let's have all the felons vote.
yeah, now all the
7
votes
out of
don't
the
count,
million.
You know? Now all the votes don't count. That small number, now we can extrapolate out to everybody. But 350,000, not a real number. You know, the pictures of the trucks that are acting as morgues, the freezer trucks acting as morgues, that's fake. Those are fake bodies. It's Hollywood. The
it's
pictures of the ERs of them having people in beds in the hallways at the hospital, the hallways, you know, putting up tents outside for triage centers. That's all fake.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
sorry.
Well, like you hear this number, they'll be like, with the mask, they'll say, if you wear a mask, a micron could come out and you get sick. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a viral load. So not as much as the virus is out. I mean, that's science. That's real science. Because if you get flu, you get Tamiflu, and that reduces the viral load, and you're not as sick as long. But scratch that. Micron comes out of your mask, right? Because masks don't work, and then and then you get sick, and then it multiplies, and you get sick, right? And then wait. So that's a logic that this motherfucker would say, right? But then you go, the PCR test is bullshit. The test that, you go here and it's giving false positives, they say, right? You're like, why is it giving false positive? Because it takes that one particle and it multiplies it till you have a result of it's a positive COVID. And I'm like, wait. So just a second ago, that one particle will get you sick if you're wearing your masks.
Oh,
but
got it.
When you take the fucking PCR test, it gives you a false positive because that one particle, they multiply it, because that's what they're doing. They're just multiplying it so they could see it, and then they could say it's positive, and that's a false positive. But it's not really a false positive. It is a viral load that they multiplied.
It's people that fall for pyramid schemes, man. It's the same people that were like,
what do you mean by that?
Votes.
Explain what you just said. The pyramid scheme.
Stop the count. Stop the count.
Mob mentality.
It's a mob mentality, but it's also they want affirmation that what they believe and bought into is the right thing. They've invested in this pyramid scheme or whatever. They've talked their fucking friends into investing in it. Now they need to believe, or they even lost their friends because of it. Now they need to believe that it was for something. They need an affirmation. They need proof that they were not wrong at the beginning, that it was not a wasted effort.
No, but you have intellectuals using this rhetoric, right? And it's
now it's because they can get on TV and shit. Now, they can get on TV because there are people that are hungry to hear that. They want to hear something that supports their own worldview, right? We want to hear. It's the reason why I watch videos that bash on The Last Jedi, because I fucking believe The Last Jedi sucked ass. I was watching a YouTuber and he ranked The Last Jedi number 4 in his top 10 Star Wars movies. I immediately hit stop on that motherfucker. I was like, there's no fucking way he ranked The Last Jedi above anything in the prequels or even The Force Awakens or anything like that.
No, I hear you when I hear that. Give me a second, Kevin Smith. I have something about that, but I hear what you're saying though. Like if I hear something that I'm like, Like, you could say some shit, and I'm with that. I'm with that Kool-Aid. I'm like, yeah. But then you say that one thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. You can like talk, oh yeah, what's a good movie? Interstellar's a great movie, blah, 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 blah. And then you could then say, that's why Tenet's number one. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what?
But
What did you say?
that's us being subjective though, and it's about movies and pop art and culture and shit like that. But if we're talking about politics and really important things that are going to shape the future for our fucking kids or the next generation and people that we love and care about, we should be more subjective. We shouldn't be we should be rejecting the mob mentality. We shouldn't be just listening to whoever uh 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 um supports whatever our views and values are. We should be open to hearing the other side. I was looking for a live feed from Fox yesterday on YouTube. I couldn't find one. I don't have cable.
Dude, I follow Republicans, and they like that's why I was getting so heated when we were talking, is because get the fuck out of here. You keep farting. God damn it. It's my dog. He's huge and he farts. And that's what he does.
So I got a small dog. Small farts.
Yeah, I know, little farts. So like they're all talking about not the elephant in the room. Man, fucking Trump started this shit. Like, I know you don't want to say that, not you, but I know that these fucks don't want to talk about that. So they talk about other shit and they're like, oh yeah, the fucking impeaching the president, getting rid of him. This is bullshit. Now, okay, so for instance, okay. So AOC and all these Democrats are like, fucking, we should get rid of these Republicans and we should get rid of this, get rid of that. And Ted Cruz comes out and says, we should love each other. And then so the Republicans who are not Republicans, but these people, these intellectuals who try to see the other side of things, but they're basically conservatives. They say, yeah, Ted Cruz is talking about love and the fucking AOC says this shit. And I'm like, well, I think the fact that you're talking about this is wrong. Ted Cruz is just doing what he's doing. Yeah. Let's love each other, blah, 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 blah. After, you can't say that shit when your fucking alpha dog just raped the country. You can't fucking say that. You have to
call on the team. You gave him you instead of muzzling him or reining him in, you kind of gave him the leash, the length. You let him off the leash.
And you can't claim, oh yeah, love this, love that, God, thoughts and prayers. Bitch, what were your thoughts and prayers a second ago before this shit happened?
That's my problem with Lindsey Graham. Him saying that, count me out, I can't go along with this, the objections to the electoral votes, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, you've been carrying water for this guy because you wanted his Trump base to vote for you in November.
Yes.
And now that you have your job security, now you're telling us what you really think. Why didn't you do that before?
Yeah, as he's getting out
when it mattered.
Yeah,
because you also contributed to this.
And I'm not pro AOC. I'm not that guy. I'm not pro Nancy Pelosi.
I know. Neither am I. I'm for some of the things, but I'm not for a lot of the style that she uses.
But there is something to be said about what you're saying and what they're saying the same kind of. Yeah, you burned your nose because you look idiot. He smelt this light bulb and burned his nose. He's so stupid. He's such a stupid dog. Stupid dog. Anyways, hey, look, they could have fucking called him out to begin with, but they didn't. I get it. And now you're saying, oh yeah, hey, this fucking asshole, he's on his way out. So now you're talking shit about him after the fact. So what that signals to me, and what most politicians are really, you're just seizing opportunity. And what the sad fucking thing of it all is that we're going to let this happen. But then you got AOC saying, let's not forget these sons of bitches. Let's get them the fuck out. And I've heard my Republicans side, these podcasts that I listen to, they're like, yeah, the AOC's crazy and shit. And she's preaching about hate and things like that. But like, I hate to say it, but there's futility in, let's not forget these assholes who thought, let's, Trump's the best. And you guys are racist. And then like, as soon as he's getting out and as he's fucked the country. Like he's just tramp stamped us. He's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Fuck him. Like, oh, wait a minute, guy. You fooled me, last like 3-4 years, but now you're talking shit now? Who's to say that you're going to back somebody? Now, my thoughts are whoever you back, they're probably not good people.
Yeah, but we're not, I'm not part of the Republican Party. I can only vote Democrat.
But the AOC people are talking in a way that's dangerous. It's dangerous, right? No forgiveness. That's dangerous. But you got these fucking assholes who defended this asshole, and now they're changing their tune, and we're supposed. And then what? They're like snakes. You just let them get away, and they're gonna.
I don't understand. I don't understand how Republican voters can't see it for what it is.
Well, same thing with Democrats,
political plays, and they're feeding off of their emotions. They're feeding off,
both sides. That's the error right there. Both sides are feeding off emotion. When I hear Nancy Pelosi say we should impeach and blah 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 blah, she is not, dude. That lady is just feeding off the nation. She's really trying hard. And this is just, I really do think this is the thing in which they're trying to cash in on this, like,
I don't
credit.
know. I think there's a legit danger in having Trump be president till the 20th.
I know.
I mean, if they had done,
I want him in jail. I want him in jail. Let's get that clear.
Yeah. If they had done what they had the evidence to do, I know at least one person that would still be alive right now, that would not have died getting shot going into the Capitol. And I know at least one person whose life that would have saved. There's another 350,000 who's, we can argue how big the number could have been or would have been.
I'm trying to get the dog.
Hey, what's going on,
this
Max?
whole time. Now look this way, Max. Look this way. You're on TV. You're an asshole. Introducing Max. But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would see less Trump flags, only because
you will.
If they're still waving them, it's like, do you not read? Do you not see? Do you not hear? And you don't need to do it from the liberal side. You just read his Twitter, listen to his videos, learn how to read between the lines, because this guy, he really was trying to speak out of both sides of his mouth, because they were telling him, hey man, you need to tell him to calm the fuck out. And he was like, okay, hey guys, peace, no violence. I love you.
in a world where people are all about Trump, check it. There ain't no winning that. No matter what.
I'm not gonna change their minds. My thing is, their minds should have changed before then.
No, because like you got people out there that say 1 micron comes out of the mask and gets people sick.
And then in the same count all the votes, stop the count at the same fucking time.
Exactly. They use the very statistic that they use, and then they use another statistic that countermines their first one. But because our country's built on because we don't teach anybody anymore. People haven't learned how to think, critical thinking. Yeah, like you said. And Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best. He said, we really need to work on critical thinking. I don't think that's what's wrong with this country, is that we're not thinking anymore. What we're doing is training to just be mob mentality, training people to work in the workforce, where the only time we question is when we think we're with a group who's questioning things, but we're part of that group. And there's a guy out there who taught this. He goes, it's better to be an individual in a group than a guy who's in a group. You know what I mean? Like, as an individual, you could then decide, you know what, Frankenstein's monster is not a bad guy. Maybe it was a mistake that he screamed at a kid because he's a monster, I guess. But then everyone else is, no, Frankenstein's a monster. You're like, wait, I thought he was Frankenstein's monster. No, Frankenstein's a piece of shit. Right? Wait, no, the fucking you. I thought we were talking about the fucking guy with the bolts in his head. That's Frankenstein's monster, not actual Frankenstein. That's a
Right.
doctor. But then you got the mob. Fuck Frankenstein. Fuck him. Roar! America, red flag. Let's destroy the Capitol. This is what Frankenstein's a great allegory for what we are as people. We're mobs. There's only individuals that are, it's rare. When you're talking to a person, you can, I don't know about you, but I feel the distinction between I'm talking to mob, I'm talking to an individual. And every time I've talked to an individual, which is rare, I'm like, this person's awake. That's rare.
So I was talking to somebody and they brought up the Dr. Joe Biden controversy, right? That people want her to be called Dr. Joe Biden. And he was like, but that Ed doctorate, and he's all, no offense to you. I know you're a teacher, you work in the profession, but that's just made up. And I'm like, yeah, if they relax the requirements to be called a doctor, like, I guess it's whatever.
Does she have a doctorate?
She has an educational doctorate, so it's not even
that's a doctor.
It's not a medical doctorate, But some people
you could be a doctor of engineering.
Yeah, you could have that too, and that's why I'm like, I don't see the controversy. I'm just like, just let her call a doctor, whatever. Okay.
It's only shitty if she was a doctor of, like, say, quantum physics, a doctorate in quantum physics, and she's trying to be a medical doctor. I mean, like, I would be like, wait, what? Don't fucking do that.
Yeah,
no, that's stupid.
But and right away, and that's where I get that sense that you're talking about. I didn't feel like I was talking to an individual. I felt like I was talking to a mob.
Yeah, they're talking points.
That was their thing that they could bring up, and in my head, and I didn't want to. It was a family get together, and I didn't want to ruin it. But I wanted to say, man, if that's the biggest controversy we're going to have with this next administration and whether or not to call the first lady doctor, I think that's a pretty good deal.
I hear you, dude. There's sometimes I'm at these fucking wacko Michigander parties. I really like shitting on Michigan. I'm not going to lie. I'm with these fucking people, and they say these stupid talking points. Well, Trump did a lot for black people because, the economy. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I could argue, but what would I gain from arguing?
Yeah, you don't gain anything. And that was my thing too. I'm like, I'm not going to gain anything from it. I'm just,
like, you could talk to somebody. Yeah, you know what I like, though? What I truly like is these racist fucks. I know they're racist, but I'm the brown one. So I'll say something like, because I'm Asian, I'll be like, yeah, fucking Asians are trying to take over this country. And you can kind of tell that they want to agree with me, but they don't want to. Because if they do, they'd be racist. But because I'm brown, I'm Asian, I can say that shit. So it's kind of like they laugh. It's uncomfortable. But at the same time,
you're an asshole, dude.
They fucking agree. I mean,
you know what? If they're silent, then that means they agree. You can
They didn't know what to say. They don't. They're like, shit. Is he trying to trap us? I am kind of trapping them. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not like I'm gonna go, aha. I'm gonna go, yeah, these fucking Asians, yeah. Fuck their little, they got small dicks and they're not good as math as they say they are. Some bullshit like that. I'm Asian though. I can say that.
I don't know, Kevin. I've seen some Asians with pretty big dicks. I think you're wrong there.
Aha! That'd be funny if they said that. I thought I was homophobic, but I'm homo. Oh no! Oh no!
Not that it's not okay to not be homo. Oh God.
I'm fucked. And they, Bill, what am I gonna do? They start kissing each other. You're like, oh shit.
Oh,
no, but like seriously, like I have conversations. I'll hear this stupid argument or something like, Trump didn't mean this, and I'm like, yeah, no, fuck, he did. But I'm like, I'm not gonna be like, you know what? And like when I hear people go anti-mask and shit, every once in a while, I get so angry about the no mask thing. I'll say something like, Well, I mean, I work at an urgent care and we have COVID positive people and we don't get COVID because everyone's wearing their masks. Then they go, I heard this one bitch, she said, well, it's because you have an immunity to it. I'm like, bitch, I could take a fucking immunity test right now. I can guarantee I have no immunity. Zero. To have an immunity, guess what you have to have? The fucking COVID, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Or the vaccine. My bad.
Or the vaccine, but the way that they can explain it away. So I guess the research that's saying that people that tend to wear masks don't tend to get sick. It's because those people, I guess there's a correlation between the people that wear masks tend to have immunity and people that don't wear masks don't have immunity.
Ooh, that's a good science right there, dude.
It's
That's like the reason why the world is flat is because the people who think it's round can see the roundness of it. You're right.
Yeah, their eyes are bent.
Or some shit.
How do
Some
you
shit,
prove
you know?
that?
No, because like I've heard these intellectuals argue and then use the same, like, okay, one guy explained how a PCR test was and then doubled down on what his supposition was. You know, COVID doesn't, affect people because of masks, and the PCR test doesn't work because this, and he explains the PCR test basically proving that he's wrong.
He said it was wrong now.
But then he goes back to saying, see, and that's why it doesn't work. And I'm like, wait, you didn't do anything. All you did was explain the process. That's all you fucking did. Like a lot of these fucking people, they explain a complicated process. So it's basically, the earth is flat. And why is it flat? Well, because the world, when gravity pulls everything inside, it creates a sphere. That's why it's flat. But you just fucking explained why it's round. It
like
pulls this shit.
Really quick, 5 seconds. I watched the documentary on this guy that was trying to prove that it was flat with lasers and shit. And he accidentally proved it was round.
Hey.
He accidentally proved it was round because it was off by the exact curvature of the earth. Like the drop was like, he was like, no, we're gonna try this again. I think I messed up here and there and there and all. Like, but again, it's people that they reject the evidence that doesn't support their worldview, and they accept evidence or even hearsay or secondhand evidence that does support their worldview. And that's kind of what came out of this whole, election doubting thing, this election fraud argument. And even though, who was it? The election commissioner from Georgia kind of went out there and point for point shot down everything that Trump had said, either in the phone call or out in public. They kept saying the same thing. The other side kept saying the same thing. And it's like, he just presented with evidence why what you're saying is wrong. You keep saying it. And that's because there's people that, me included, but that was with Star Wars, right? Me included, that no, I don't agree with that. So I'm just stopping right now. I'm not going to listen at all. So that's that mob mentality. That's that mob mentality.
You know what? It exists in both orders, both left and right. But it just seems that the right is just scratching at that fucking itch tenfold.
You're right. It does exist on both sides. It does exist on both sides.
It does. But, and I see, and like what's the problem with the internet? And I think this is just because, I can only imagine when we first discovered fire, all the problems that was. People burning themselves, burning each other. Let me put this on my dick, burn my dick. Oh, it didn't make it stronger. Fuck, I thought fire was strong. Yeah, I thought fire was strong.
It hurt you. I can use this as a weapon.
Well, no, fire is strong, so fire on my dick makes it stronger. Shit, didn't work. I must be a Republican. But fast forward, now you have the internet. It's beautiful, right? It has all the information. That's the problem. All the information. So both bad and good. So in one instance, you could read a statistic proving one point, and you can read a statistic that proves another. Studies. This is the thing. People always love, they fucking just jizz to talking about studies. This study said that I was right. Bitch, studies work like this. Like I could say I had a burger, and then I could then write in my study, 100 people said they ate this these meat and they got fat, but 100 people just said they ate burgers. That doesn't mean meat's bad. It means 100 people should stop eating fucking burgers.
Yeah,
But in my but my study doesn't have to, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but my study doesn't have to say that. My study could just say I asked 100 people, I'm using basic numbers, and they said that they ate meat, burgers, but they ate meat. But my study isn't burgers. And so I say eating meat is bad.
There's a problem with looking at isolated studies. You shouldn't be looking at just one study. You should be
bigger studies. There's studies out there that say eating vegetables. Okay, for instance, I'm a meat.
I agree. But because of peer review, some studies are verified by other schools. That's what you want to look for.
It's worse than that, Ever. It's worse than that. So you would think that, so vegans, they die a lot, right? You would think, so they supplement their fucking vitamin B complex because they're vitamin B deficient. That's a thing.
Yeah,
they take supplement.
Right.
Yeah, they take vitamin B supplements.
It's not the right kind of B that they need.
Let me finish.
Sorry,
So there's a study where vegans are like fucking and so meat eaters are like, oh fuck, look, they're supplementing vitamin B because they're not getting enough nutrients for meat. But in reality is there's another study that nobody's getting vitamin B right, like both meat or unmeat, it's just, you're just not getting, you need a supplement. So a vegan can then, so a meat eater is going to quote a study and it's legit. You're not getting enough vitamin B if you're just eating vegetables. But get this, you're not getting enough vitamin B because you're eating meat. You still need a supplement because your body doesn't process vitamin B as much. It's not bionutrient. But that doesn't exist in the thing. There's all these studies that you can quote from, and even if it's right, empirical data, it doesn't matter. You need to correlate it into the person. The person needs to be able to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. I have to take B complex pills or B supplements no matter what I eat. So the vegan who's like getting shat on, I'm not saying vegan life's the best, but the vegan's getting shit on. He's like, I take B supplements. Well, that's because you're not eating the right amount of food. I'm like, bitch, you're not eating the right enough food. Because you're vitamin B deficient, which is a leading cause of deficiency. Vitamin D and then B. That's why that's on a test. In fact, that's a normal thing we test for when we're checking you out. You say you're tired. Let me see if you're processing B or D. And guess what? You're not. It doesn't matter what the fuck you were eating, vegan or otherwise.
But that's a discussion, and that happens through peer review, and that's people, and sometimes people are gonna stick to their guns. But when you present evidence, and if they're gonna look at it, and you basically use the same rationale you're using. Hey, this was a study by this school. Well, this is a study by another school. What makes yours better or more valid than mine? Let's look at how together they form a bigger picture.
But how messy it is, though. I tell you need to take B complex. You go, no, I'm vegan. It doesn't matter. Scratch that. You go, I'm all meat. You still need to take B complex, no matter what, because you just quoted a study from vegans, and you are right. You just quoted a study for meat eaters. You are right. Both are right. But reality is you're not able to process vitamin B because you're vitamin deficient. You didn't know to look, even if you have peer review, you, the person or the doctor, did not know that there was a third study. You just deficient.
Yeah, and this again, that should happen through discussion and
I agree.
Without emotion, right?
Yeah, but that won't happen.
If you said it to me, then I'd probably believe it because you have a background in that. I don't have, a huge background in that. So
depends on who you find, right? Because if I was a meat eater, I am, by the way, but if I was a meat carnivore only, I would be like, no, you have to take vitamin B or not even that, just eat meat, And I could quote a study. If you eat meat versus a vegan without supplements, of course I would be right. And vice versa, of course I would be right. No matter how big the study is, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million.
At the end, it's like, okay, well, this is where, your views and my views, they intersect at a place where, now we have this full understanding of what's going on.
Well, I didn't even know that was a thing until I heard the debate. I heard a meat eater debate vegan, and I was like, this vegan is gonna get eaten alive, because it does make sense, right, to have biodiversity, meat, vegetables.
Mhm.
It just makes sense, right? But this fucking vegan dude comes out with this stat of, I never thought of looking outside the box like this. He goes, I see the study you have for this. And he was quoting the study that the other guy had. He goes, you're quoting this study and this study. When reality is, if you quote this study of meat eaters, you still need to take B vitamins, because only 85% of what you're taking in from meat is not getting processed. Only
Right.
15% or some shit like that.
That,
And I
that
was
makes
just like, I didn't even know that was a subject to be had. Right? It just made sense, right? I could look up a study to prove my point. I didn't know to look for a study like that. That's either vegan or not vegan.
But see, we're the kind of people that can have
You and
that
me.
mindset, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that don't. And that's why, that's why when I see somebody with a Trump, like I'm like, they're not openly really thinking about what's going on. They're only listening and filtering through a mask of ignorance. It's
And vice
poetic.
versa, though.
It does happen on both sides. It does happen on both sides.
No, because like the person
But
who's
but
readily available, Nancy Pelosi, the person who's into Trump is the person who's in Nancy Pelosi. Those two people are two peas in a pod. And it just so happens that one person's on the side of right in the social, establishment, right? And that's what galvanizes a lot of these dumb people who are like, yeah, not like, you could be pro-Trump, and I'm cool with that if you can back that shit up. But if
here's
you're
my
giving me
major
talking points,
here's my major problem with the Trump presidency was
I can tell you a lot too.
vilifying opposite views.
What do
You
you
know what I'm
think the
saying?
fucking no? Don't start that shit, because the left does that too.
To this level,
No,
you
okay.
can
I'm
you
not
can
going to discount what you're saying. Those are good feelings. I'm just saying, when he started galvanizing his side, I vilifying the other side has been a thing since Oog
yeah,
hated
but
the
not
Ogs.
call them un-American though.
Yeah,
Not to call them
man, fucking
un-American.
dude,
There's degrees of it, but damn it, I've never seen it like this. I've never
dude.
seen it like
What I hated is when he started propping up the bad people. Like, okay, so Charlotte's, or who are the Tiki
Kevin,
Torch people? Who are
like
the
it or
Tiki
love it.
Torch?
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Love it or leave it. Who have you ever only heard that from? I don't think you've ever heard Democrats tell Republicans, love it or leave it.
I'm not going to be the one who's going to look that shit up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to look it up. I hear what you're saying, but what I don't like is this. The Tiki Torch people in Charlottesville,
Okay.
and then he said some people did some bad things
On both sides.
on both
There was some very
sides.
fine people on both sides.
And I was like, you just propped up the bad guys. You should have I know there's a reel out there of him saying, yeah, I don't like this, and that. But if the one thing happens, then you get bad. You shit on the bad. You don't prop up those fucking people. You just don't. Ever.
Well, he did it again yesterday. He said, hey,
yes.
no violence, stop the violence, peace, respect the police. I love you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
It's a wink, it's him doing one of
And
these.
for what? And for what? And for what? Because he's done. That motherfucker will have a podcast or whatever. He's going to make money. Yeah. Whatever. He's going to make money. Shit, he could go to Russia and make money. It doesn't matter. But he did it again. Like, here, he doesn't even understand the ramifications of what he did, to the extent of it was so bad that even the media can't comprehend what he's done.
I don't have a problem with Republicans or Republican ideals. I mean, on a value level, yeah, we could disagree on policies and women's rights and things like that. And we can have a discussion, a discourse, even argument, get passionate about it, but not vilify the other side or say that the other side is un-American or attacking democracy. They're saying that Democrats are
I'm
attacking.
with you on that last sentence. Attacking democracy. I don't care about vilifying the other side. Whatever. Attacking democracy. That's number one. You
Well,
can't do that.
that is what happened yesterday, though.
No way. Yeah, I'm there. I'm with
by
you.
definition, right?
I agree.
Counting votes,
I agree.
counting votes and delivering votes is not attacking democracy. It's in support of democracy. And they're trying to say, no, what we're doing is in support of democracy. It's like you did that by going to court, by stating your case, by presenting evidence, which they didn't have, because if they presented evidence, they actually probably would have gone to jail for lying, for presenting false evidence.
Yeah.
You can't willingly submit things that aren't true.
No, you could do that. No, you know what? I can see people fucking voting the aliens are in charge. I don't give a fuck about that.
No, but it's because in court, his lawyers were basically backing down, but in public they were saying that they had all this evidence and stuff. But when they
lie,
they were spreading the lie everywhere. They said this is what we're going to say in court, but when they actually got to court, it was different.
And for what? For fucking what? I don't understand. That's the thing I don't understand.
It's to raise money because Trump owes somebody money. Trump owes somebody money. We don't know who it's going to come out after he leaves office. He owes somebody money. So this fundraising effort that he's been doing, hey, donate money to my reelection fund and to my legal fund so that I can fight the courts and win take back the White House, because you've been robbed. To get people motivated, he had to get them riled up and angry so that they would open up their wallets to him. And the money that they were giving, if they read the fine print, only 25% would go to some legal fund. The other 75%, they can do with as they wish. And guess what? I think he raised like $500 million as of 3 weeks ago. $500 million.
So the greedy guy who's made money
not greedy.
Off of greed.
He owes somebody money. It's not greedy.
That's what you're saying. You're injecting your own fucking thoughts, though. I'm seeing it how it is. Even if it owing or not, he wants money. Wait, no, yes or no? He wants money. Yes or no? He wants money.
Greed is if he had money and he wanted more. The problem is,
you think he's in trouble? I don't think so. I think that's all bullshit.
He's hanging on to this thing like somebody's gonna get their fucking legs broke by the mob.
Dude, if there was something fucking wrong, we would have known about it. I don't think.
No, Southern District.
Find out nothing. He's gonna fade away.
Damn, dude. I hope it all comes out.
Oh, I predict this. Nothing's gonna happen. He'll have his own podcast or TV show, and that's the way it is. Hey, how about him being blocked off of Twitter and Facebook?
Whatever on that. Too little, too late. That's something they should have done a long fucking time ago. He still has other outlets. There's other social media outlets that he can use. He can use Reddit posts. They can use the official White House Twitter account if he wanted to. But you know what? I think the people around him finally told him, hey man, now you need to at least keep your power for the next 2 weeks. Put out this fucking video to calm everybody down on this 25th Amendment thing. So, the 25th Amendment is vice president, majority of his cabinet can decide, hey man, get the fuck out. And basically he doesn't have the powers of the president anymore.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. I think Trump putting this video out today was enough to pour water on that fire to where it gives people cover, basically. People can say, look, he put out a 2-minute video. He's going to be good now until the next time he's bad. And then, then after that, he could put out another. But he needs to do pardons right now. He owes somebody favors. You're going to see a bunch of pardons come out to people that, he owes favors to, because if he lets himself get taken out, somebody's going to cash in his chips.
I don't think I think that's all just talking. I just think those are talking points, and I don't think that anything's going to go anywhere with that.
Points, dude. They're not talking points.
They're talking points if nothing happens, right?
No, talking points. I mean, come on, Kevin. Don't fall into this. Oh, that's a talking point to make it not worth something. It is worth.
It isn't worth anything if nothing happens, right? 1 year from now, say nothing happens. What was that? The words that you're using and nothing happens to them.
So we shouldn't say it so we shouldn't say it if there isn't something consequential that comes from it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you shouldn't, because it's going to go
nowhere. Why are we
talking
at all right now?
No, we're talking because we are having what we call a conversation. However, on this conversation, I'm telling you, it's a waste of energy and time to say that he's going to get arrested or impeached or they're going to take his power. It is. Someone
No,
cashing in their chips in, not going to happen. Nothing's happening. He's
we
going to
don't
be
know.
rich until you die.
I'm trying to figure out why he's acting the way he's acting, is what it is. And I think that's what,
I told you my theory doesn't have a conclusion. He does not understand what he's did.
I
He
don't think
doesn't.
that's what it is. You're right. I don't think he fully understands. I think he's flailing, and trying to do what he thinks he can do to make it through today. And that's actually from his own mouth that he goes day by day. If by the end of the day he won at that day, then the tomorrow's another day.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. And I don't think that he knew what he was doing. Would he incited the worst fucking debacle in human history? I mean, like that was so. I mean, unless there's an ancient civilization that went to the outer reaches of the universe, just assuming that we know what we know, that was the worst thing in fucking human history, and it's so bad that no one even really can give it its due because we need to talk.
I would say it's one of the worst things in American history.
Well, American history, believe it or not, is a thing around the world. I mean, we shape the world. I mean,
Yeah,
like
they all had reactions. They all had reactions.
that's why I said, like, unless there's an ancient civilization that we don't know about, America is the greatest civilization to have ever been. And the fact that this has happened, it should have a little bit more gravity. It's not like Uganda went to the moon. The insurmountable things that America has done is unless, like I said, like the caveat is unless there's an alien civilization that we didn't know about, or Atlantis, or some shit that I don't know about in human history. I get you, Alexandria, all these Germany conquering all these. We went to the fucking moon. We dropped 2 nukes. I mean, like, nothing compares. Nothing. I mean, like, nothing. Like, it's one thing to nuke, to create a nuke. We dropped it
on people.
Yeah. No one's done it since. We went to the fucking moon. No one's done it since. We went not a machine.
Not a machine, yeah, not a probe.
We went to fucking Mars with a machine. Checkmate, motherfucker. I mean, like, America is the greatest. I don't know who's. Whenever I hear someone say, "No, you guys are just like anti-American," because, like, truly, America number one is number one, and then for us to be attacked in this way through ourselves, it should be something that's like, what? Did you guys go to the moon? Did you cure world hunger? It
didn't land for me until somebody compared it to, the War of 1812. It was like, not since the War of 1812 has somebody entered the capital.
That's 200 years, yeah.
And damaged it. It's basically been untouched. I think somebody
got away with it. Somebody got
in there with a gun. Yeah, somebody got in there with a gun. They didn't get away with it though. And I think one of the desks still has the bullet hole in the drawer, right? Yeah, in the Senate, the Senate chambers.
I had pictures of a guy wearing a fucking red, white, and blue paint, in the Capitol, and I'm like, that guy should be historical because he should be executed in the worst sort of way.
I don't know
for all time.
Maybe character.
So here's Earth. Yeah, here's Earth. 6 billion years later, America, the moon, and Mars. I mean, 6 billion years, Earth, the moon, and then Mars. And this asshole goes into the fucking height of human evolution with his fucking red, white, and blue paint into the heart of America. Something no one could ever dream of. Like, think about that. No one in Africa mining that cobalt ore could ever get to where that motherfucker just did. And, like, you have dinosaurs, asteroids, fucking wars, Genghis Khan, and then we got America that out of all this muck exists. And then in this muck, America does these things where we abolish slavery, create a democratic republic, go to the fucking moon on a whim, go to the fucking Mars with a machine, talk about the fucking end of the world with too much carbon in the atmosphere. I mean, shit. This guy goes into that. He's like, you know what? Fuck, I'm America. Fuck America. I'm wearing a flag. I'm gonna go and piss everywhere. That guy should be executed for all time. His children's children should be murdered. I mean, like, dude, it's like, like a lot of people just like, this shit wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, like, how long did it take for America to become a thing? And from that, how long did it take for America to be where it's at now? And now it's slowly being destroyed.
About 22
And this
years.
is 200 years later, we're just like, you know what? This guy. Can you imagine 200 years ago? All the people fucking breaking in, explosions, war, and then 200 years later, you see this asshole with the fucking American flag, probably has a Facebook QAnon, jacks off to fucking animated porn. Who fucking knows? And this guy's for all time, I don't know. Me personally, I just don't understand why people aren't seeing this for what it is. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I've lost sight,
You're not. This was a huge fucking deal. And like I said, it didn't land for me until they compared it to the War of 1812. And I was just like, you know what? This is fucking huge because we've talked about it. We've talked about that assault on the grounds of our democracy in the building, where we should have been strong enough to defend it.
JFK died how many years ago? We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, can you kill a president now? Can you just do that? Is that an easy fucking thing? Like, is that like right now you could just say, let's kill the president? No, that's not going to happen. It just won't. Because we have a Secret Service, we have this, and that, and all this intelligence network. And yet you were able to attack a fucking, I don't know. I'm just so angry about them attacking the Capitol, and we just let that shit happen. And it's not like, I don't know, we're talking about other things. We're talking about how Trump's a piece of shit, and I agree. We're talking about, how the Republicans suck. I agree.
Well, what would you want to happen? Though, because I mean, everybody's kind of pretty much said this is fucking terrible. They compared it to 1812. They're seeing Trump as the one that kind of threw the match in there after he poured the gas. He's the arsonist, right?
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, think about the gravity of. I don't know. Do we understand that America is number one? Do we even know that? Do we even know that the moon was a thing? Do we even know that do we know that, like when we dropped nukes, that was a thing? Like,
no, people don't know how awesome it is to live in this fucking country. Unless
really, like, there's places where you can't.
The only ones that know are the ones that grew up in another country and then moved here, and they're like, "Fuck, I never want to fucking go back there again."
I know, like if you, I get, like, if there's countries where you don't have water. Like right now,
you don't have a toilet to flush. You gotta walk all the way to the river and shit on water.
If I had $0, yeah, if I had $0, 0 cents, nothing. Even if I owed money, 0 plus negative nothing, I can still get water. You know what I mean? That's America. And I mean, there's other countries, yes, but they don't have nukes. They don't have submarines. They don't have the number one military.
We're talking to each other across 3 time zones.
Yes. Like right now, if I were to say, America, go to the moon, we'd be there tomorrow. Say like that was a thing, like that we need to do, we would do that. Like that's how powerful I think America is. I believe. And we just attacked it, and it's not even a big thing. So what is the measure of that? Here you have everything. And on the other side of the coin, you have nothing. So what should we do to those people who attack that everything? It should have an equal measure. And I think that if you're trying to attack the everything, then you should lose everything. And that means your life. I mean, that it should be a thing in which it's like, well, you attacked the Capitol, huh? Well, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, yeah, but you attacked the Capitol. It's like you could,
What would you call somebody banging down the front door of your house and trying to get in? And they could say, well, this is our house. It's represented. Well, we can't let 320 million people in here. That's why we have rules about that.
yeah,
We have screening. We have security clearances. We have rules to protect.
You break in my house, you die.
Yes.
That's everything. And we broke into not my house, the house of houses.
And they did it at gunpoint, which is like, man, you kind of accepted that there would be that's the potential. You're staring down the barrel of the gun.
And we still let it. In fact, the people who didn't shoot, I think, should kind of be either fired or arrested because you allowed them to come in. I mean, like, it sucks.
I wouldn't arrest them, but they probably can't be cops anymore.
I know. I mean, like, it sucks to say that.
You have
it sucks.
There is a time when you get to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. You're obligated to.
So if I'm on a nuclear ship and then you could just break in, right? That's cool. It's not like they're able to destabilize a government or press the right buttons to create a bomb. No matter what, that's not what's going to happen. But guess what's going to happen though in real life? You're going to get shot and murdered. I mean, that's just the way it is. Stop the threat. If you break into a military base with nuclear weapons, you're dead. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it should be the same level of security. I mean,
it's not like they're going to destabilize our government, but they kind of did.
The counter is, we want people to be able to witness democracy, right? That was the thing 200 years ago, but we still can. I mean, we have video feeds, we have audio recording devices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to go watch, you go through a security clearance because we don't want somebody going in and trying to do something stupid. It's a target.
I went too hard in the paint. I'm like talking about murdering people, but like I just think
I know you didn't.
But like at the same time, I mean, like you can't just break into, like I said, a nuclear facility.
There needs to be some kind of repercussion for the people that they were able to get in there.
Yeah, I get the one guy.
And again, you said it. We got lucky that only one person died. Instead of all those people getting shot and killed,
or vice versa.
That they were able to hold the line enough and protect, the senators and Congress people and their staffers.
Yeah, maybe
from being because man, what would have happened if those people would have got in there? They were willing to attack police
with guns,
with guns and pipe bombs and smoke and flashbangs, and their fists. Somebody brought a rifle. They found it not in because one of the other buildings got broken into as well. Not just the Capitol building. One of the other buildings got broken into as well. And somebody left their gun there because they realized, shit, I need to leave here. And if I walk out of here with a gun, they'll probably arrest me. So they left their gun there. So, people showed up armed. What would have happened if they had gotten to a state representative?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know. But I do know though, if our government, if like, say all those people died, right? Not the people rioting, but say our government, say the vice president, the fucking House of Representatives,
the people elected to represent other people in the country.
And I can't imagine. I mean, like, what are we gonna do? Like, the janitor is gonna become like your representative. Who do you put in there? You don't have the time. You don't have the organization of it. Obviously, you don't have the organization because they were able to do this. A disorganized group was able to lay waste of the Capitol, and like, there's nothing you could do. I mean, like, I know our country really has trouble doing things, and so when you take its head off, I mean, so you got this guy who's not really good at doing shit, and then you take his head off. Is he really going to do even more shit? Is he really going to be better than he was before? or worse. And I just, in America, who has nuclear weapons and shit, I mean, it's a catastrophe. It's really bad. I really do think that the bad guys are probably either China or Russia. They fucking won, and they were like, "Fuck, I don't know what this means," because we're supposed to fight forever, not win. You know what I mean? Like, so they're like, "Shit, I don't know what to do. I don't know." And so even us, we're just like, "Fuck, what do we do?" And then so we're panicking. So we're talking about other shit. But you know what? Let's get off this topic. I wanted to actually talk about something else.
You wrote Kevin Smith down. What was that
I
about?
did. Okay, Kevin Smith. All right. So Kevin Smith was talking about Wonder Woman, and he said two things that was poignant. He said, one, whenever the writing credit for the first person is and the writing credit for the last person is, it's usually the first person who did most of the writing. And the last one, he's really there. He or she is there to kind of reshape parts and kind of fleshed out. But the main writer is, the first one. So Patty Jenkins is what? Her name is the first title,
right,
for the writing. So this movie, Wonder Woman 1984, is hers. Now, okay, whatever. So be it. This movie was garbage. And Kevin Smith's like, this movie was good. And he gave a bunch of reasons why it was good. But then for like an hour, he talked about how shitty the movie was, but not like in a shitty way. He was just like, why was this? Why was that? He was just poking hole. Cause I mean, the movie lends itself to shit. Yeah. So I was just like, Kevin Smith is a guy, if you ever watched any of his reviews of movies, pretty much says it's good. So it gets to a point of this. I get the idea of be optimistic, but then when is it that bad? Because he starts, if you're constantly saying something is good, then does your opinion matter anymore? If you just on like IGN,
it would sound like maybe he's not saying it's all good. Maybe he's just assigning value to everything. Everything does have some value.
But if you say you like something, that's bad.
Okay, if he's saying he likes everything, then shit, dude. I'm kind of guilty of that.
Are you
too? I'm always kind of looking for value in something. That 5-year personal thing that about me, that was me finding value in something.
But that's the one that's different from movies, though. Like in movies, it doesn't have
movies, that pop culture, that's his thing, that's his life, that's his passion. That's what he's married to. And
he's married to a woman too, by the way. I'm just saying.
Okay, but there's nothing wrong with saying that something has value, but in the end, just doesn't have as much value as something else, maybe, or
if you're saying something is awesome, it's just like if you say everything sucks, then of course naturally, right? Oh, this guy of course hates it, right? Like there's a guy called the Angry Gamer Review thing, and so I don't even listen. I don't even bother because because he's it's shitty or whatever. Even if he likes something, I don't care because okay. So Kevin Smith is like, I love this. And then I knew he was going to say he loved it. And IGN is like this too. IGN will give something a 9 and they will shit on it for a while. And I'm like, you gave this a lot of shit. You gave it a 9. What are we doing? Like, how'd you give this a perfect score if you shat on it? Like they've given 10s out and they gave it like a problem here or there. And I'm like, how's it a 10? 10's perfect, right?
Yeah, 10 was there were no problems to be found at all.
But then I hear you talking about the music.
Because what if a game comes along and it has no problems? And so that makes it better than this game that you gave it a 10. So now you got to go above 10.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it makes You're right. If he says if he's saying that he likes something and he ends up saying that about everything, then what value does that have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess for me, I don't listen to him. I don't watch him or whatever, and so maybe he shouldn't be saying that he likes something. Maybe he's just be assigning value where there is value, but maybe he does like it for small reasons. Maybe those little things of value do it for him. because there's movies that we grew up with that you could poke holes in and all that stuff. But we look at them and we love them at the time, and we still look back at them fondly. Wonder Woman might be one of those movies. Same with Last Jedi, where younger people watch them and they don't really care about nuance or lack of nuance, or plot holes or anything like that. They just know what the movie made them feel, and so
People
they end up.
saying that shit aren't coming back to those movies. They're just not. They're liars. Like,
Adults that are saying that shit, that have critical thinking skills and that can poke holes in movies and see where logic falls apart. Yeah, if they're still saying that they like those movies, I don't know about that. I don't know
yeah,
about that.
I really do feel that there's a heart. There's a place where Star Wars 8 is good. I
It
really do
looks
like
amazing. It's an
does.
amazing looking movie.
That first 20 minutes
Yeah.
is
But
when
when you
like that's
start,
why I was like, let's put visuals back into the review process. Because that first 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I
it looks
was like,
amazing.
this is the most beautiful movie I had ever
But
seen.
then when you think about it,
Yeah.
yes,
But when you look at it though, it looks really good. Now there's a part in Star Wars 8 when he goes, "You're nobody. That's who you are. That's really what it is."
you're nobody.
And she breaks
know.
down. She breaks down. She breaks down because she realizes she is nothing in that scene. And then he goes, "But I accept you." And I would have married Hans. I would have married Ben Solo right there. Like what is a better dark side of the Force than that? Like you need to save Padme. Let's kill children. Uh-huh. But the world fucking hates you, but I will accept you. Holy shit. Is that not the best? I am the dark side. That's tempting to me.
Yeah.
Not let's kill children to save. That doesn't tempt me at all. Let's kill children. I accept you. I was like, that is the best written line ever. And then like I shit on Star Wars 8, and we could do that forever. But just that scene alone, I
It's
mean,
good.
damn.
That is good, because I mean but apparently he was being disingenuous.
Of course, yeah, because the second movie.
It's like, well, he did the certain point of view thing, right? That Obi-Wan did to Luke.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
I guess.
you are nobody.
But really, Palpatine's kid.
Palpatine's grandkid, but there's a generation between you, which makes you nothing.
Yeah, you're not part of the story. Well,
From a
actually, I
certain
am because of Palpatine. I'm just saying. I don't know. Whatever on that. You know what? Hey, there's one more thing I wanted to bring up. I was going to talk about my disappointments, and then we'll finish it off here. I was going to talk about my disappointments with last year, but I just wanted to bring one thing up. So there's a show that I really, 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 really wanted to work. It's called Twilight Zone. It was made by the Jordan Peele.
Okay.
And if you ever watch Get Out,
I watched. Yeah.
That's a good movie. A lot of metaphor. Twilight Zone, Initiated. Then he makes this Twilight Zone. They gave him Twilight Zone. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be good. Wow.
No bueno.
They fucking woke the fuck out. So this is one episode. So this is one episode in particular, which I was just like, I can't believe they fucking did this. And I'm a dude, so I don't like when you go anti-dude on me. So a meteorite hit, and this makes sense. It works in Twilight Zone, but it doesn't work. So a rock comes down, right? And this makes men go violent. They go crazy, and they do things like smile. What bitch? You didn't smile. And they go like I guess that's the thing dudes used to say. I know dudes. I'm a dude. I never told a girl to smile, but whatever. That's a thing. That's some narrative that's been pushed. And all these fucking guys are fucking getting after women and destroying them because these meteorites hit. And they're fucking just doing crazy shit. And there's one guy, he wanted to fuck. He's gay, by the way. He's gay. That's his thing. He's gay.
Okay.
He wants to hurt people like men because he's aggressive, because he's a man. And the meteor's there, and he chooses not to, right? So at the very end of it, so that's the story. There's a story to this, right? And at the very end of it, it turns out the meteor is a placebo effect. the meteor doesn't do anything. There's no radiation. Men are just like that. And it gave them a reason to act like that. And I'm like, wait, what? And the only man who didn't fucking act like all the other men was gay, and he chose not to. He just chose not to hurt women because he chose it, and he's gay. And I was just like, wait, what? Wait, what? Like, so men are bad and we just need an excuse? And that, because that's what it is. The meteorites didn't do anything. And I'm like, then what Twilight Zone? What is this then? How is that Twilight Zone? There's no goblins. There's no planet getting towards the sun. There's no mannequins are alive. It's just asteroids hitting Earth, and men
freaking the fuck out,
decide to beat on women and tell them to smile, because that's what's happening in the episode. And if you're gay, you could just choose not to hurt women. And I was, or men, because he was beating on this one guy. I was just like, what the fuck is this? And that is America. What do you think about that? Like, that's literally what the episode is. Men suck.
That's how, yeah. That sounds pretty woke.
Super woke. And there's other episodes, but I'm not going to get into it. That episode was the most egregious.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, dude.
No, but there's other episodes where like this lady could like, and this was kind of like Twilight Zone, but it went backwards. It's like she's black and she could go back in time by looking at a video, and then there's white cops trying to kill him, and then it turns out that black people are standing up for themselves and white cops can't do anything, or some bullshit like that.
I guess I'm more of a sliders guy,
What sliders? So random.
Well, because it's I mean, it's not as extreme as the Twilight Zone, right? But they are not proctors. They are proxies for us to experience these different worlds, these different realities, right? And to see which character's reaction do I identify more with,
I hear what you're saying, but I think that show was not utilized in the way that you wanted it to.
Yeah, no, and it's a long time ago. I haven't seen it since, right? But I do remember that about it. It was just like sometimes there was like these weird places where the women grew beards and the guys didn't. And it was
but that's science fiction. Science fiction is supposed to create a narrative in which you could see an aspect of society.
Yes.
In some kind of in a scientific-y way, but like in reality, it's just an allegory for what's happening now, right? Like Star Trek and Stargate. Well, that one
was the definition of beauty, right? Are we conditioned in a society? If we'd have grown up in that society, we'd been like, check out the beard on her, and that would have been a thing. So I don't know, and I think you're feeling the same. Based on the synopsis that you gave, I don't know what to take away from that episode that you just described.
Oh, well, basically you're supposed to think, I mean, like,
guys are evil, inherently evil.
And they just need an excuse. They actually said that. They actually say that at the very end. It's kind of ham-fisted. It's like, it turns out that the asteroids didn't do anything. It turns out it was in you all along, as she's telling her gay friend. It was in you. You just chose not to. All these men, they're choosing this. And I'm like, what? What? So we just decide raping people?
I mean, you could apply that to today, all these people that have, racist viewpoints and stuff. They were kind of latent, holding them back. And this, this golden meteorite hit and kind of gave them an excuse to start spouting all the shit that they had within them all along, and show them that it was okay to march on the Capitol and invade it, or march down fucking the streets of Charlottesville with torches and shit and spout hateful shit. I mean that they shouldn't have done it by shitting on guys, because I think that reading of it would go over people's heads. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a writer and I can't think of one right now, but they should have chosen another way to give that type of a lesson.
anytime you're shitting on the other side, as opposed to having a more like, if you just like raise the other side and show it, you're good. But when you try to destroy the other side, that's when in the rather than showing like, hey, we're
No,
equal.
no, because
We
not to shit on him, but let's take that episode at face value. The
Okay,
men in that universe
are
were
terrible.
inherently evil and were
Okay,
just kind of waiting for an opportunity to be sadistic. You know,
okay,
or,
okay, okay.
the fucking movie. What is it? Where once a year everybody can kill everybody. The Purge.
Purge. Yeah.
You know, the idea of the Purge is that that's the night that some people kind of give into their base, you know, instinct to want to kill. You know, the people in that universe. Um, if it, what happened here in reality was people do have these feelings and these emotions inside, and they were kind of just waiting for an excuse to come out and say that this is okay to think and feel and act this way. So racism is not gone. You know, the argument that we elected a black president, so we're not racist anymore, right? We're good now, right? No, that's not a thing. There's still these latent urges that people have within them. And if given an excuse, you know, if given an out, you know, to go ahead and give into those, they'll take them.
You're right. I like how you did that. Hmm.
But
I don't I don't
the way they did it is fucked up because they did play to those stereotypes and tropes that guys, you know, like tell women to smile. Hey, you know, if you're gonna go into this interview, make sure you smile. You know, make sure you wear
so
something
you,
sexy or whatever.
so you feel like if it was more toward, I do believe you're right. If they more if they leaned it more into the Trump narrative,
If
I
they'd
think
applied it to
that
everybody, if they'd applied it to everybody,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah. But like, yeah, but I think that if you make it into a man versus girl, it you kind of lose me. But if you do,
yeah,
you do work it out if you just apply it to a narrative of like, Trump and everybody else, and like then I could see that. I could see how you have the alpha chimp of all the retards come up, and then I didn't mean to say that, but I'm drinking, so it's okay. No, I mean, like, you have this alpha fucking chimp say, "Hey, look, fucking, I'm not racist. I have black friends." And then everyone else is saying, "Hey, I'm not racist. I have black friends." Not everybody, but like all these other racist fucking people. They don't even know it. I mean, that would be a better. I think that
no,
would be a
I still like the idea of a meteorite, you know, but I agree
instead of
with
a
you.
meteorite. Like Trump is the meteorite.
Yes, you
That
know,
would be your
it,
yeah.
but you're right. They fucked up by pitting men against women,
Yeah.
and then you know having a gay guy be the only one with the sense to
See,
say
that's
that.
why Black Mirror does it better because they do the same exact thing with a puppet. And everyone's going for the puppet. The puppet's saying the most fucked up shit, and everyone's all about this puppet. And it turns out like it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, and you can control the cartoon. And then it turns out, get this, anyone could be that cartoon. So you can just, as long as people are all about that cartoon, you could apply any kind of logic or anything. And I thought that was a better move than, shitting on all the men, you know, me being a dude. But I mean, I found it offensive.
Yeah, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. And people that aren't gonna read deeper into it, all you're doing is reaffirming their fear of men if they had that in them.
Yes.
That you know what, if the man that's sitting next to you watching this episode, if he had an excuse, he'd fuck you up.
Yeah. He doesn't need a meteorite. He needs a Trump. So you better watch the fuck out.
You better not be a minority spouse or love interest.
All right, man. We hit 3 hours. We
Son
need
of
to
a bitch.
stop,
Holy
dude.
cow.
It's that whole that 200 years of, and then they destroy the Capitol. It warranted a 3-hour podcast. I mean, I think it was very poignant. I mean, it was very important to talk about that.
Man, I was glued to my TV
Oh, yesterday,
the
yeah.
the election, but man, it just as it was unfolding, it just reminded me of 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, as it was happening, I'm like, is what I'm seeing what I'm seeing?
Hmm.
You know, okay, they're up on the steps, whatever. Okay, they're way up on the steps. They're at the front door. What? Now they're inside. What is this? And then
Yes.
the ones that hit hard were like the people sitting at the dais, where the vice president and the speaker of the house
Yes.
sit, and they're just like posted up right there taking selfies and shit. And I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I was figuring, see, what the thing with 9/11 is that a plane hits a building and everyone's like, oh shit.
You immediately knew loss of life. That was galvanizing.
But like they did this thing that's terrible and horrific, and people can't comprehend what went down. They can kind of hear the broad strokes, like this, that. Let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about, how he should be pardoned, how he should not be pardoned. We're
We
talking
should
about all these.
we
We're
should be
not.
looking at what other countries are saying, not because not because like, oh, we should listen to what other people say to make our own decisions. No. It's one of those things where we're inside,
Mhm.
and it's kind of hard to see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
That we really should kind of be looking at the perspectives from the outside. What do we look like? I mean, you look at a mirror, right? You check a mirror to see, what do you look like? Because you can't see yourself outside of yourself. Your vision is limited. So I think we should kind of be looking at how's the rest of the world reacting?
I think you're right, because I feel like China or Russia will chop up that video film and then make it like, see, that's why we have communism. Fuck capitalism. Why would you want that? You would never do this to us.
This is what they want to bring to your country.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here we are. Communism, strong. Socialism, strong. You would never attack our capital. And they're right. We never would. Afghanistan with their Muslim propaganda with the, hey, women can't drive. You shouldn't drive. Fuck it. You would never attack us because we are power. Us and Muhammad. I mean, there's like these countries out there that have this all-encompassing power over their people. And then we did this. We are the signal of hope. We are the signal of the future. And they're like, hey, this is your hope. Look at that. Look at those pieces of shit fighting each other. And look at what they're talking about afterwards. All this other shit. But they're not talking about what's real. What really matters. We're not talking about unity. We're talking about how Ted Cruz is talking about love and how we're shitting on. Fuck all of that, dude. We need to like take a step back and be like, okay. What pieces do we have? We have a Biden. We got this. We got that. We got this. Let's move forward. Fuck it. You guys got in here. Let's move forward. Let's not shit on each other. Let's keep going forward. But right now, we're moving sideways and backwards. We're not moving forward. No way. This country cannot move forward. We're still talking about Trump. He's passed.
Well, he's still got 13 more days. Look what he did. Look what he did yesterday in one day.
Oh, they got bullets on him, dude. I'm not kidding. Dude, he's going to be quiet until he goes out. He's done. He's done.
I hope so.
And no. Not like because of Facebook or that guy.
Yeah, I know. The
people are like,
sit down, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. I know you haven't heard these words since you were 2, but you need to shut the fuck up. Okay? Because we're going to kill you. Do you understand that? I mean, there's some shit that went down. You're going to die. Do you understand that? Because some shit has went down and all the idiots and mobs are like, let's do this. Let's talk about this. But the real people in power are like, we went too far with this. We let people attack our capital. We need to show power. I mean, if we need to nuke somebody, we will. That's how I feel. If not, then we're owned. Then we're going to speak Chinese in the next 2 years. I mean, unless there's some kind of a powerful force behind the people, I mean, they had to have seen that and been like, what the fuck just happened? What? Did he just do that? You don't do that. You don't attack our fucking
there's been people that people in other countries, leaders from other countries have said that.
Yeah.
Like, how is this a thing?
Yeah, I just don't. I feel like it's underwhelming because we're talking about everything but what happened. They're talking about the emotional part of it. They're like, oh, this person died, the tragedy. this happened. Not one guy said some things, and then they stormed the Capitol, and we let them. And you know what? Nobody died. That's cool. What about next time? You know? I don't know. That's where I'm at. What about next time?
Yeah, what about next time?
And then I got a meme of Osama bin Laden being like, all I had to do was go to the Capitol. And I'm like, well, you got a point there. Because, I mean, that's all you had to do. That's all you fucking had to do. Like, seriously, like, if I had a bomb strapped to my fucking vest, I could have got in there with me and red, white, and blue guy and Rhino dude. You know, shrapnel everywhere. Kids dead. Done. Got you. Took out your government. Checkmate. I'm with 9 virgins. Maybe.
Hopefully they learn. Hopefully they learn. I mean,
do you feel that? I don't feel that. I feel like we were in class. A kid raped another kid, because that's how the severity of this, I feel. And then I'm talking about society and its norms. I'm like, man, if the Christians had just brought up their teachings more, this wouldn't have happened. Like, wait, what about this rape that just went down? And you're just like, no, see, you know, that's a murder. Okay. That person went to war, blah, 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 blah. You know, what about Trump? Let's talk about Trump. And you're like, wait, the fucking rape just happened. Like, shouldn't somebody go to jail? Like, maybe we should have rules against rape, you know? All right, no, there's rules against, you know, murder. What about the fucking kid raped the other kid? You're like, nah. Dude, let's talk about Australia. You're like, what the fuck? Because, like, what happened just now is they attacked our fucking Capitol, and we're talking about Trump. We're talking about this. I mean, shit, I'm talking public execution, man. I mean, like, we should send a message for all countries, aliens and interdimensional beings, to be like, hey, you attack our fucking sovereign nation, beheading.
Well, the main difference here is, I think everybody in the country would agree that nobody from outside the country gets to step foot in the Capitol that way, right?
Not if I use you.
And again, the leadership and those cops had to make a split-second decision, you know. But again, they're not guarding a Target, they're not guarding a Walmart, they're not guarding a fucking taco shop. They are guarding one of the 3 pillars of democracy.
Yes.
And
yes.
And they had their guns drawn, and those people were trespassing, and they know they're not supposed to be there because they had to walk through barriers to get there. They had to break open doors to get there. I think, you know, they would have been justified in shooting.
If I was a bad guy and I used people to attack the establishment, I would then do that again.
But again, I mean, I don't think this would have happened, honestly, like in a state of war or something like that. I don't think we'd accept it, you know, as readily.
No, yeah, no, but that's the beauty of this, because it's like, in a state of war they unite, but as long as they're just on their own, we could just have them attack themselves. Like,
that's the problem.
We're in a proxy war.
We're destroying ourselves from within, you know, and the other people that are helping spur it along outside of the country, they're winning,
and they don't even know it. They're like, what the fuck?
They know it, but I don't think they knew the extent to which it was gonna work.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this was a good conversation. We should end it because it's like a 3:10. We got 3 hours of fucking talking.
There you go.
For me, it's midnight. So
all right.
As always, if you do like the podcast, you want to know more about it, just go on the website, podcastforme@gmail.com or www.podcastforme.com. There you go. That's it. And then we're on Spotify, a podcast for me and all that bullshit. And we're on YouTube. So just share and a like. If you make another comment, this guy who dis, I don't know what the fuck this is. If you want to make more comments, do so. and we will bring it up like we did. Whoever dis is, And as always, be the better person than you were yesterday. Don't just be a fucking mob mentality. Think for yourself. Don't think for yourself tomorrow. Think for yourself for today. Don't be that guy yesterday who followed along. Be who you want to be today. That's all I ask. That's all we ask. That's who Podcastforwe ask. That sounds pretty ghetto, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah, think for yourself, you stupid fuck. It's plural. Fucks.
Think for yourself. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Share. Think for yourself and share, you fucking mob. Share.
Because we told you to.
Because we told you to. And you're for yourself. All right, cool. Anyways, later.